Dude, it's because I got lazy this winter, and
This is how we need to start. We need to start. Okay, just start the fucking podcast.
I got lazy. I hit go. I got lazy this winter, and so I have a bunch of wood. If you look out in the backyard up against the garage, there's a shitload of wood piled up back there, and I just got lazy this winter and didn't chop any of it because my actual chimney is getting to the point where it's going to need cleaned out.
Queening.
Yeah, it's going to need a good queening.
Yeah.
And it's really expensive to do that, and you have to buy all of the brushes if you want to do it yourself, and it's really fucking dirty. So I kind of got lazy and was like, well, and I had this thing sitting around, and one night
sale at Walmart right now.
It got
At
really
least in Rapid.
it got really cold out one night, and I was back here. I think I was playing video games or watching TV or something like that. And there's no heat back here. There's no vented heat back here because it's a converted garage.
Gotcha.
And it was cold, and I had a blanket on, and I was like, man, it's cold. And I looked over in the corner, and I was like, I have that thing. I wonder how that thing works. I'd never plugged it in before, and I plugged it in, turned it on, and like 10 minutes later, I was like, it's warm back here. It's nice. So, and it's got good little ambiance. So, yeah, it's just totally ironic that it's an electronic fireplace in front of a real fireplace. Yeah. So
Yeah, this is a really long-winded explanation.
I'm
for why
sorry.
there's an electronic
I'm sorry.
fireplace in
It's
front of
just
a real fireplace.
Hey, man,
So-
I've been asked the question before, as you can tell. Yeah.
Well, you had the whole story, but I mean, I feel like if you've had to explain it a lot, you could just chunk it down into, I've had it for a while, and I was back here and I was cold. The only thing to really heat it is the actual fireplace. And I plugged it in, and it turned out I liked it.
And
So
see,
now
in
here
a
we are.
roundabout way, I got there.
I
You know,
will
it's
say,
like-
you forgot your mask there, sir.
oh,
Yeah, you're gonna get us all
shit.
fucking.
Oh,
you're
shit.
gonna get
I'm
us
sorry.
the
You're
Rona.
gonna give all of us the Rona.
I'm sorry.
We're
sorry.
being socially distant here.
And
Well,
even though-
kind of. I'm kind of distant with Jordan.
He
I
just-
haven't even introduced you guys yet. That's how long it's been since I've done one of these, actually.
Well, to be fair, I
To
bet
be
everybody
fair.
wanted to hear about the fireplace.
Yeah, I think that was the most appropriate way to start this off,
so-
actually. So hey, what's up, everybody? Socially distance, questionably content podcast. Apparently, that's the new name of it, I guess.
Socially distant, questionably content.
So yeah, I guess that's what's going on. I'm gonna change it for this one. That's what I'm gonna call it. So yeah, I'm sitting in the room with Hated. Actually, what's up, dudes?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, I'm sitting in the room with Colton Krohn and Jordan Taylor. Krohn.
Krohn.
I have not to ask you that every single time. I'm sorry. I know.
That's cool.
Colton Krohn and Jordan Taylor.
I will honestly be surprised. Actually, Nate's gonna watch this and he's gonna be like, his name's not Colton.
What does Nate call you?
Spud.
Oh, Spud. He just goes by
Yeah.
Spud.
So actually, when we were tracking the EP and stuff, he was like in
I
the
started
kitchen or
calling him that
something,
shit.
and he yelled at me, and he's like, "Hey, Colton!" And Nate, standing in my doorway, is like, "His name's not Colton. You address him by his actual name."
And, I had to
And
go,
he's
"Hey,
all,
Spud!"
what's his name? And Nate's like, his name is Spud. Spudley if you're feeling formal.
I was gonna say it's Spudley on Facebook, isn't it?
Yeah.
Colton Spudley Krohn.
Yes.
Krohn. Fuck, sorry, dude. But yeah, that's how long has that been your nickname? How long have you been going by Spud?
Since like 7th grade.
How did you even get that? What even happened?
I think the story has like just become convoluted
Okay.
over the years, and it's nothing special. Like, I think I had a class in 7th grade with 2 other Coltons in it, which is weird because that's more Coltons than I've known in my entire life. Like, and so it was like
3
me-
Coltons in the same class, or just like the same?
Yeah, same class.
What?
Yeah,
that
it
is
was
weird. That
crazy.
actually is kind of weird, honestly.
So it was me, and then Colton Miller, and Colton his name starts with a B, I think.
Okay.
I don't know. It's
Colton Bolton.
no, I don't know. But
I
so
had to. I'm sorry. I
So
had to.
There is a guy
there
that
was-
lives in Casper, and his name is Bolton.
Like Michael
yeah, Bolton
Bolton.
Huff.
Bolton Huff.
Oh, I know him. I know Bolton.
Yeah.
Huff,
Shout
actually,
out to Bolton.
yeah.
Hey,
Hey, dude.
Bolton.
What's up? Oh, it's actually going to be this one at this point in the
Yeah.
podcast, I think. So
Shout out to you.
still
Or
looks.
you,
Yeah, it still
or
looks
you.
looks like it's still going there. So
And anybody else named Bolton, because that's unique as fuck.
yeah, I don't
But-
actually.
But yeah, so one of the kids in the class was like, "No, fuck that, I'm not doing this." And he's like, "I'm gonna call you this, and I'm gonna call you Spud, and I'm gonna call you actually Colton." And so like, it
Okay.
just stuck.
Huh.
I don't know where Spud came from.
I was gonna say,
I don't
did
know how
you-
he came up with it. I never asked. It was just like,
Didn't ask, didn't care, just went
Yeah,
for it,
Yeah,
dude.
because that's a potato, and like
That's what.
you're
That's
like
what.
this skinny
no,
guy.
and
So
honestly, it kind of makes sense. I look like a potato. It's cool.
I just,
Like,
that's why I wanted to know. I was like,
maybe
where?
French
How do you?
fries, like just like a stack of French fries? but
yeah, I
you're not,
honestly,
like,
I have no
shaped like
idea.
a potato.
I don't know what caused it or where the origination was. I just got called that
Some
by
dude-
fucking Chance Good.
Shout outs Chance Good, I guess.
Yeah, he'll never watch this. And on it,
he's not alone.
Never mind. Never mind.
Yeah, that's.
I was gonna counter shout out, but it's fine. We'll just leave it alone.
Dude, that would be I told you guys there's gonna be a lot of firsts. That would be the first counter shout out on the podcast. So that could be another first. If the offer's still there, if you want to do it, I'm just saying.
No, because I don't have any issues with the dude.
That's fair.
I just didn't like him in junior high.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't know. He's like. Chance Good, if you're watching this, I don't like you, but you're also not like a bad dude, so I can't say anything bad about you.
Like no hard feelings, but like that's just what it is. Some people just
as far as seventh grade version me is concerned, go fuck yourself. Like
some people just don't click, man. I had people like that too that I went to high school and junior high and stuff with. You just didn't like them. And
yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Wasn't necessarily that they did anything in particular.
It was just we were in different friend groups.
Yeah,
like
you're in different friend groups and all. It's just like I'm not supposed to like that kid, so I don't fucking like that kid.
Yeah, in all reality, he's probably a good dude.
He's
probably way nice. Yeah. Like I haven't seen him since probably 8th grade, so I don't fucking know. Like
I won't name any names, but there are a few in particular. I've reflected since it's been a while since I've graduated, and as you get older you start to reflect on stuff. I'm coming up on 100 or something like that, so you kind of start to look back on stuff, and you look back and it's like I think about some of that stuff. Like I definitely had kids that I picked on. Like I wasn't necessarily a bully like overall, but there were definitely kids that were lower on the food chain, and you knew it. Like there was always that and you think back on it, man, like I said, I'm not going to name any names, but there are a few people in particular that like, fuck, dude, I feel so bad now. Like you think back on it and you're like, dude, I feel so fucking, think back on some of the shit that you did and you're just like, God, what a piece of shit I was. Why did I even, what a dick, dude.
But then it was like, when you compare it to the shit that people at the bullies did, it's like, this ain't shit.
Yeah, what the actual bullies did,
I was always like, the fucking bottom of the food chain type dude, but I managed to get moderately popular, mostly because I played music.
I was a band kid. That's exactly how I made my way too. You?
Yeah, and so
dude, I was a fucking long-haired kid that everybody called emo, and I hated it.
Yeah, dude, I totally fit into that group in high school too.
I fucking hated it.
But like, I was always the dude. So there was a bunch of people in high school who, like I said, I'm not gonna name names, but like I know a few people who are just fantastic people, but they're just like they're a little weird.
Yeah.
So like everybody was like, "Oh, you fucking weirdo," and like I wanted to be friends with those dudes. Like I was like, "Well, let's go fucking play guitar together, man." Like,
sure, why not? Yeah.
And so I was always that dude who made friends with the weird kids because I was the weird kid.
That's how it was for me too. I ended up, dude, my high school life in particular was kind of strange in that kind of sense. Like I was in band, I was in percussion, like I was a snare drum player, like played a lot of cymbals, and like I picked the easy parts because I was lazy as fuck. Like all through high school, I just wanted to pass my classes and go home.
Right.
And so whenever we got handed out parts, it was like, all right, where's the triangle part? Give me that. I'll play that one. Give me that one. That's fine. I knew I could play everything, so it was just kind of like I'm not like tooting my own horn. It was just I was in percussion, so it was like snare drum, timpani, bass drum, and then some effects stuff. So it's like pick what you want to do, and it just gets to a point after you've done it for like the first all the way since 6th grade when you started learning that shit. You get into 11th and 12th grade, and you're just like, okay, I'm done with this, dude. Give me the triangle part. I'll play that one. I don't give a shit.
That's like at NC, like joining guitar ensemble.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so I joined guitar ensemble, and all of my friends. I mean, at this point, we've been playing guitar for like 5 or 6 years. So like most of us are moderately decent at this point.
Pretty good by the time you even get to class. Yeah.
Yeah, easy enough or good enough to where like we could go to these classes and sight read the sheet music and nail it. Like. And not be worried about it.
Man, I don't know about. Don't mean to interrupt. But
it wasn't like sheet music. I guess it was all tabs, but we could sight read the tabs.
I've never been a strong sight reader, dude. But that's because I came up in percussion, so you don't have to really. Sight reading percussion's pretty fucking easy. You got one line. Just hit the note when it comes. Hit the thing when it shows up on the line. Okay, perfect. Got it.
Yeah, but yeah, so
that's most of what you do.
We did a lot of that, but I was always the lazy kid who like there's always the people who like they want guitar 1 or they want like the most complicated, the hardest parts, and usually those kids are really good.
I want
so
the lead.
It,
yeah.
But, like,
did you guys have like guitar 1, 2, like first, second chair, all that stuff?
Yeah,
okay.
But yeah, so I was always the kid who was like, if I make guitar 2, then cool.
Right.
Like, I don't even care. If I play guitar 4, that's fine. It was really just a class for me to ditch.
I was in guitar ensemble. So at Kelly Walsh, I was in guitar ensemble. I think it was
Oh, Kelly Walsh.
It was either,
gross.
hey, I'm sorry, you guys. It
And
wasn't by,
see, baby.
hey,
Get
shut
the
up.
fuck out of your
It
own
wasn't-
podcast.
You're
See, guys,
gone.
I'm out.
This guy's 86.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm sorry.
This is the official hated takeover.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, my
The socially distant, questionably
shit.
content
At least,
podcast.
you know what? At least I got this far into it. Fuck. At least I got this much. Yo, Facebook.com/records. I'll see you guys later. No, but yeah, Kelly Walsh. The first year that they had.
Wait, quick! Shout out Guinness.
Oh, okay. Shout out Red Stripe.
And Liquid Death.
Liquid Death.
Oh, yeah, actual shout out to those guys.
I was gonna
We've
say,
been trying to get sponsored by them.
You've been posting a lot of them. I was just gonna ask you if you guys were
so,
sponsored or not. You know
they're-
what's nice about these masks, really quick? The nice thing about the mask is you don't need windscreens on the mics because you just
Holy shit!
it's just all blocked.
Should just start making.
Just bring one in the
everybody
studio, dude. Just start having one available, a box of them.
Because that's what I need to start doing to.
Maybe dude, that might be how you start getting clients, dude. I don't know. You just got to make everything.
Yeah, that's my gimmick.
yeah, exactly, dude.
But yeah, dude,
I'm like the Slipknot of recording studios.
Yeah, right.
You gotta wear a mask.
Mask required
it
beyond
might
this
make
point.
for cool pictures. Too.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Can't see weird mouths. But yeah, I
Numbers
send
too.
an email.
By the way, if you do start that, buddy, I want fucking royalties or you credit for something. Fuck you, okay?
An argument can be made for 13%.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, what's this Liquid Death water stuff?
So I sent an email. Actually, I think once they send me promotions shit because I signed up for their deals and shit because I buy the water. I mean, I buy it all the time.
Let me see the can. I'll put it up towards the camera here. We'll be safe. I won't.
We're not
See,
doing
this is-
very good at this social.
No, we're doing
distancing.
okay. We're doing fine. We're not breathing on each other and shit, so we're fine. Check it out. Let's see. Let's do this. That liquid death mountain water.
Yes.
It says murder your thirst. I kind of like that. It
It's
says
pretty
murder
good
your
shit,
thirst. I do like that. I like what that
Yeah,
says.
their motto is like death to
Death
plastic.
to plastic.
Yeah,
Where are they
so-
from? Colorado or?
The
Like,
water's from the Austrian Alps. So
Okay,
it's like
that's-
straight from the source, like right out the fucking mountain.
And
from the way it sounds.
who is it? A company in Austria that cans it and sends it out too?
I guess I don't
Okay.
know. But anyway,
Basically, their thing is like helping clean up the oceans and like being
Yeah.
environmentally friendly.
they're big on recycling and.
So before we get into your sponsorship thingy, I was wondering, how did you come across them? Like, what's the backstory on this? Because I remember just one day I just happened to cross Facebook and saw you like at your work, you posted a video or something like that, and you had it on your toolbox or something, and I was like, "What is
Yeah.
it?" It looked like a beer, and I was like, "What is he drinking? Fucking like
That's what's cool
non-alcoholic
about
beer or something?"
It's
And
just like a badass can.
you
Like,
held it up to the camera and said water, and I was like, "Oh, okay,
Yeah.
it's a weird canned water thing." Huh.
yeah. So
okay.
I found out about them because of just
Yeah,
Facebook.
turns out it's harder to get sponsored by water than beer.
Beer has a lot more money than water.
They
though.
had this.
I think,
this really
right?
cool.
I don't know. Is that true? Does beer have more money than water? Is that a thing?
Yeah, probably.
That's like with advertisement and shit. I mean, how many
Probably.
Aquafina advertisements do you see on an NFL game on a given Sunday
You
Yeah,
don't.
but also
versus
at
Budweiser, Bud Light,
at the same
Coors Light?
time, like you don't need to convince people to buy water because
It's like a
they,
thing
Well-
you
they
need
need
to stay
water.
alive.
Well,
Like,
all right.
It's kind of one of
You
those
make
life
you make a good
essentials.
point there. I guess that.
It's
I guess
like-
that.
It's like toilet paper. The only toilet paper commercials you see are like Charmin, but there's a fuckload of companies that make toilet paper,
That's-
and they don't worry about it because they're like, people's gonna buy our shit anyways.
Right,
Yeah.
like you ever seen dollar store toilet paper
Never,
commercials?
never.
No.
You ever seen
If
a
you're
commercial?
buying it, they know you need it.
Have you ever seen a commercial for a dollar store? They're like they don't have money to pay actual sponsored
No.
sponsored companies anything,
Which
dude.
is my favorite thing about them because like you can go to Dollar Tree and get the coolest shit for $1. It's so awesome.
Dude, there's one out by my work. I frequent it all the time when I'm running low on stuff. Like you can go out there and get like bread for super cheap and like just little
Yeah.
thing, like just quick little things that you need.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Cheap,
and
dude.
like kitchen utensils and shit. Like you
Yeah.
can get like actually nice
metal
like,
kitchen utensils
yeah,
for like $1,
like
$2, $1.50, whatever it is. Yeah, super cheap. Dude.
Silverware.
Like I need to go buy a rice strainer here pretty soon. Guess where I'm going?
Oh, dude,
Dollar
you'll
Tree.
pick one up for like 44 cents, dude. I guarantee it. And it'll probably be one that like hooks onto something. It's all cool.
Yeah,
like
yeah, it's got some cool feature. It might break in 6 months, but for $1,
dollar stores are really cool around like Halloween and stuff too, because they
Yeah.
always have like weird little decorations that you can get like 48 of them,
Yeah,
and for
plus, like,
for
this-
$1.50.
plus the big bags of candy that you
Yeah.
buy at Walmart for $4 or $1 at the dollar store.
a
So
huge
like,
assortment.
but you gotta
candy.
get you can't get the dollar store chocolates. That's the part. That's
Th-
where
like
you
the
go
like the
wrong.
sponsored chocolates from the dollar
like
store.
Palmer chocolates. You can just fucking go to Burger. Palmer chocolate sucks.
Jordan is a chocolate connoisseur. I'm learning this as we speak.
kinda
For
hate
real,
chocolate,
for
so
real though. Like I
works
know
out.
he's an anomaly, but
You don't like chocolate?
No, okay, so it's not that I don't like chocolate. I just don't like too much chocolate. Like dark chocolate, I can't do, but it's too anything with sugar for the most part, except like big chewy nerds.
Okay.
Like
I can kind of see that.
I don't know. Chocolate's just it's too sweet for me.
I gotta eat something sweet after I eat ever.
Ever.
What? Okay, how do you guys feel about coconut?
We're
gonna get back to your water sponsorship, I promise. But how do we feel about coconut?
I can't believe we're on coconut.
We're gonna get there. I just want to. We're wrapping up on the chocolate thing at this point. But I was gonna lead into.
What are you like a Mounds bar? Is that what you're?
I enjoy a good almond joy every now and then. I do like almond joys, but what's okay?
He enjoys almond joys.
See, that's and a Mounds. If I had to pick between the two, it'd be almond joy first. Because Mounds is the dark chocolate version, right? I think it is. And so if I had to pick,
Okay.
I think so. I think that's the difference between
almond joys. Almond with coconut and chocolate.
Almond joys are coconut, chocolate, and a little almond on the top.
And they have the red wrapper.
That's Mounds. Almond joys have blue.
Yeah, blue and white.
Blue and white. And Mounds are like the same exact thing, but they're red and white.
They're all so good.
That's okay. Boom. That's the perfect wrap up. All chocolate is pretty good except for the dollar store stuff. You gotta
Except for Palmer.
You gotta be selective about the dollar store stuff.
For real though, dude. If you go to a dollar store and you find the fucking Russell Stover like mint patties, the ones that you get at the dollar store are so good.
Yeah,
and
they
don't
really are because they're the ones that like melt.
But they don't sell those at Walmart. At Walmart, they have just all sugar-free Russell Stover chocolates.
Oh, gross.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, I don't get it, and they don't sell.
I don't get it.
They don't sell the good ones at Walmart.
He's like, I don't get it.
When I go to the dollar store, it's like fucking give me like as many as I can get. You know what I mean?
Give me
Put that shit in
all
the freezer. They're just so good.
Yeah, dude, stockpile that shit. This is if there's a time to do it, this is the time. Which, by the way, we didn't talk about this before the podcast, but I get a lot of money from these, so we can't say anything about coronavirus or else I get demonetized. So make sure you don't say the words coronavirus or COVID-19, coronavirus or COVID-19, or else I'll get demonetized. So
was it Barona virus?
Yeah,
I can't.
Yeah,
is that it?
Yeah,
maybe that's what we should just call it.
Bovid bean.
Yeah.
Or the kung flu.
The doctor said she's gonna give me bovine hormone. It's like, take a size pill. What are you doing?
There's something fucking wrong with us.
I'm sorry. I've just been seeing it a lot on like a lot of the pro
you're
videos.
Welcome, or you,
whichever one
which one we end up using. You're welcome.
Yeah, so that's the deal with this. So we're actually recording on a GoPro. Shout out Brandon Garner. Thanks, buddy, for leaving that over here. I'm just using it because you left it here.
Brandon.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. We're using that, but the card in it / the battery life are combined. Like I've got it said an hour and 12 minutes or something like that of shooting. So if this podcast happens to run over that, which we're already rambling, so I'm feeling like we might end up doing that. But if it happens to run over that, I have a webcam set up behind that I'll switch to in editing. We'll fix it in post.
Last time we were like,
fix it in post.
Fix it in post. Last time we were like almost 2 hours, weren't we?
I think we did like an hour and a half at least. Yeah. At least an hour and a half. Yeah, I think your guys' podcast is one of the longer ones that I've had.
And this time is even a little bit more comfortable.
I love this.
So
by the way, we're in a new setting. This is I just decided to try this.
In case you haven't noticed, this is a different setup.
A little bit different than the actual studio room and the multiple cameras. This is part of the reason I didn't have another webcam available tonight, so I didn't have like camera switching available. So I was like, well, I just need 2 good shots of the room. Just like an open room shot. Oh, there's going to be animals more frequently in and out of this room too than there are in the regular room because this is basically a living room. So
it's okay, we get to see them.
You might even every once in a while you might hear them like
come here,
like the thuds on the carpet as they're running across there or something like that. But yeah, we're in my back room in my house. I just decided it would be more cozy.
It's very comfortable.
More comfortable.
I like this.
Realistically,
a lot,
he just wanted to show off his multiple fireplaces.
Oh yeah, that's what it was, and start. That's
setup.
what it was, and start the podcast with it. I had to explain it to somebody.
Yeah, okay, it just makes sense. Okay, anyway.
Water thing.
Liquid Death sponsorship.
I signed up for their shit because I drink this water all the time. So I said, cool, if they're gonna send me deals, I want to know.
Yeah.
So in that, they send you just random ones that just are like the headline is just buy more Liquid Death, and then you click on it and it says that is all, and then it's just like management.
All right.
And one of these times I responded to it and I was like, well, I've reached out to you guys several times and I haven't heard anything back.
Yeah.
And then they responded to me actually.
Oh, hey, I didn't
and they were like, Jordan, please send an email to our sponsorship department. And they gave me the email. And they said if we see a match, then we'll reach out to you.
That's cool.
So I actually ran the email by you. I don't know if you remember exactly.
Oh yeah. Okay, I do remember it. Okay.
But I did. I typed out this big old email, and it was shortly after we hit 1,000 likes on Facebook.
Okay.
And I sent it out to him, and I know that number's not big and appealing, but it's a solid number because it's generic. It's actually like.
He almost said generic.
Generic. Yeah, I almost did.
It's genuine. Like all of our,
it's
all
an
of
organic
our following. We
have
never paid for likes. We've never. Well, I mean, we've boosted posts, but it was never like.
Oh, that's the same thing with us.
Boosting
Yeah, we've
posts
never.
to like a shitload of people and paying for likes and shit like no. Like,
all of ours are organic too.
Yeah,
like they're all organic reach. Like
Yeah.
it's all organic reach.
that like I say, this was shortly after we had 1,000, and I sent that off to him, and it was like, we highly support what you guys are doing. We post a lot of content, and I'd be totally fine with like including you guys in that even more, because I even like tagged them and shit prior just to kind of show like, hey, like we want to work with you.
Yeah,
guys.
like yeah.
And they have this thing where you can sell your soul.
Okay.
And if they end up working with us, then I want us to both do it at the same time, sign the contracts. And
Both
shit.
of you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Hated will have sold their souls to
That's
Liquid Death.
That's pretty legit. That's pretty legit.
Which I think would be cool as fuck. But like Colton was
Can I
saying
ask
earlier,
what like the sponsorship includes? Do you know any of that or like
I assume it just involves like
just like sending you water?
I assume it just
All
is
over
like
out
they
there.
just send you cases of water or something, and maybe like a shirt and a hat or some shit, so you can post.
I don't think it's anything like crazy special.
Well, yeah,
and
that's,
if you're touring, they probably send you water so you can have it. And
honestly, you probably get like I don't know, like a percentage off or like
when when I was in Cherryville,
or like
actually,
a promo code.
I'm
assuming there's something tied to that.
One of my first bands that I was in, it was like a screamo emo band. It's called Cherryville, and we actually.
A scree emo?
Scree emo band. We actually had like I don't know if you call
retarded.
it
I'm sorry.
I don't know if you call it like a sponsorship or an endorsement. I don't really know the difference, but through Rockstar, where we knew we had a connection with a representative there or something like that, and they would send us cases of Rockstar every other week or something like that. They sent us a couple cases.
Was it actual Rockstar?
The real deal, yeah. And they would send us stickers. We had like 1,000 Rockstar stickers. We had fucking many.
So just so you know, that would be considered a sponsorship as long as you're not paying for them.
Okay, yeah.
So an endorsement. So I've got a couple endorsements personally. Through the studio. So like I have an endorsement with Soul Tone Cymbals.
Ooh, Soul Tone. Did you do have those?
Yeah.
Ooh, do you like them?
I fucking love them.
Really? Okay.
I have yet to actually finalize the endorsement since I closed the studio.
They said they're looking. They said they're looking for artists. I've
so,
looked at their website and shit.
Before the studio closed, like I got locked in with them.
Okay. Nice, man.
I'm
Good job.
waiting to actually sign the contract because you have to actually order a bunch of cymbals when you sign the contract, and I just haven't had the money to do so.
Okay.
Or the need now that I don't have a drum room.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like an endorsement is like they give you a percentage off or they give you it at cost or something like that, plus a promo code. So when anybody orders and they use your promo code, you get discounted percentage of what their order is.
Okay, I got you.
Or credited or something like that.
Sure.
Whereas a sponsorship is they just send you shit. Like instead of like you getting like, a kind of a balancing act, like both parties kind of win thing. A sponsorship is like, you're big enough or you're doing enough for us to notice that we want to
we want to we want our stuff on your show.
Yeah,
exactly. For sure, dude.
But send it out to them, and haven't ever heard back.
Okay. Well, Liquid Death, if you just listen to that incredibly long explanation about how your drink was discovered here in Casper, Wyoming, hit up Hated because they're your boys.
They've got some really fucking cool promotion shit though.
I like their cans. I think they're cool.
Like, the can's cool. The box has cool artwork on it. They send stickers off with shit.
It is really cool getting emails once in a while, and it's like Liquid Death, and I'm like, oh, maybe we got sponsored, and I open it up, and they're like, buy more, and then that's it. Like that's all it says. It's like 3 words.
You're like, okay, I guess I'll buy more.
There's no like picture. There's no like click this link to get this much off. It's just like buy more.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's still good advertising. You know?
I think
like
it's rad.
It's an email that when you open it, it's not this big long explanation like we have this one, this one. It's just hey, buy our shit. Thanks.
Because I get enough of those through
so many.
like fucking anything. The moment that I open it and it's like get this percentage off and it's a big picture, I close it and delete that email. Like,
final closing sales on button. You're like son of a bitch.
Nope,
close,
I don't care.
Delete. Yeah.
They have like promo videos that have like a Swedish dude like walking in the fucking mountains and shit, and then he just like gets cut in half by a giant buff like humanoid that is his head is just a Liquid Death can.
Oh yeah,
and it's just like brutal fucking like.
It's so cool.
It's so badass, dude. And everybody on Facebook bitched because, of course, they did. And so now it's censored, and you have to watch it on like YouTube or something.
Yeah, there's nothing better to do now, dude. Especially now. Yeah, I would assume. Yeah.
But, yeah, they're pretty awesome.
Does the water being in the can affect the taste or anything? Like, how does?
No, it's just recyclable.
It's just
more recyclable than plastic.
Okay.
And it says it on the can, like how this is 75% recyclable, whereas plastic is like 3% recyclable. And that it doesn't even really get recycled because of that.
Well, the only thing out of plastic that could be reused is the oil base or the base. What the fuck's it called?
It's like the base substance or whatever.
Yeah, which is oil.
Okay.
And so they melt it down and they can get the oil out of it, but everything else is just
waste.
fucking waste. Like
yeah,
that'll be around for
recycle aluminum a lot more. So like this could be used to make like
now
other
that
shit.
being said, like plastic eventually does decompose into oil.
Yeah.
But
how long does that take?
That takes like hundreds of thousands of years.
Does it actually take that long? Yeah.
Like, and there's nothing we could do to speed that process up.
What do you pay for a can of that?
Well, I have.
I don't think it's that expensive, is it?
It's like $20 for a case if you just go
for 24 of them.
It's 12. I'm pretty sure.
12. $20 for 12 of them.
So you're like $1.50 a case.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
Which I mean, when you think about it, at least me, I go to the fucking gas station and shit all the time.
Think about the waters that they sell at the gas station.
Yeah, it's at least like $1.99.
2 for $3 most of the time for
a fucking like little 20 ounce
for the 20 ounce bottles. Yeah, 2 for $3, so you're still paying $1.50 for that.
This is 16.9 ounces, but it also comes in the can, which helps keeps it cold.
Keeps it cold, and
it tastes super good.
Actually okay. So it actually is. I haven't had very much of it. I had one can from him. And it actually is like noticeably better than most water.
Really, that's what I was wondering. That's why I asked. Like the can doesn't affect the flavor, like being in metal doesn't.
Just the water they use.
I'm kind of picky when it comes to bottled water. Like if I'm gonna drink a bottle of water,
the amount of water this dude drinks is stupid.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
I like the Aquafina, the blue bottle.
Yeah, the dark blue bottle.
Aquavista.
Yeah,
those two I think are good.
It's Aquafina.
No, both of those.
Oh, okay.
Both those brands I like a lot. Dasani.
Aquavista's the light blue bottle with the green cap, right?
I like Smart Water a lot.
No, Dasani I think is that one. The light blue bottle with the green cap.
They're both blue.
I can't remember.
I don't. Why are we having this conversation?
No, one's clear.
That's just a podcast.
One's clear.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like one of them's like a clear, but
with a clear lid, and then the other one's the blue, the dark blue with the dark blue bottle with the dark blue lid.
Yeah.
Both of those I love. Dasani fucking sucks. Smart Water tastes weird, but it's okay. But they're like I've seen like pH tests done on them. Smart Water's gross. Fiji water is pretty decent, I think.
pH test like
it was like the acidicness of the water.
Okay.
And Aquafina and Aquavista were low.
Does Smart Water actually have like electrolytes in it? Is that they claim?
So Smart Water, the reason that it's like so expensive is because it has
it's like
antioxidants and electrolytes in it.
Well, they like I don't know how they make it.
But at the core of it, it's not really that great.
I hate it. I hate Smart Water.
Okay. I've had it. I have not.
Fuck, I drink tap water over that.
I was gonna say most of my.
I like it.
I'm not really picky when it comes to water. I drink room temperature. I grew up drinking water out of the hose. Like I'm not overly picky. I do appreciate a good glass of water
over bottled water because it has a weird fucking taste. The purification of it or the bottle or something. I don't have that problem with Liquid Death. It's fucking awesome.
And where does it come from?
The Austrian Alps.
The Austrian Alps. Huh.
Yeah, it says drinking
so it's
water
like
from
natural spring water,
right?
I assume,
right?
Yeah.
And I
from
doubt
somewhere
they
where
do like a whole lot of crazy hard filtering because a lot of the reason that people like spring water is because it has lots of minerals in it.
Yeah.
And
okay.
So it has like
it's
a cool
good.
taste.
I try to buy a case every week.
Not that I'm like a water expert or anything.
Can you get it locally?
Yeah, I do. I get it from David Johnson. Shout out to David Johnson.
Oh, what's up, Get Bent?
Hey, I love those dudes.
Yeah. I know he works. Doesn't he work for Pepsi or something like that?
Coke?
Yeah.
So
I just buy it through him, and he buys it through his company.
Okay. Is it Coke? Whichever one it is, I can't remember. But
yeah, I think it's a distribution.
One of the distributors. Yeah. So if you guys want to get a hold of some Liquid Death mountain water from the Peruvian Alps, whatever. The Austrian.
Wait,
the Austrian
they're
Alps.
supposed to be sponsoring us. Why are we helping them go?
This is what you do. So you have to give them something to want to. You got to give them boost.
But they would just sponsor Get Bent because Get Bent has a direct supply.
Isn't that half of like what the sponsorship is? Like we were kind of talking about that earlier, where in order to get sponsored, the sponsor has to look at you and see value in you also, right? Mm-hmm. Like what can you do for us as the sponsor, right?
That's why I would include it in all the content.
Which makes sense, yeah. I'm not downplaying it.
That's why I brought it right now because it's like, fuck, dude. If on the off chance that when you post this, you fucking hashtag Liquid Death or
Who
tag
knows?
Liquid Death, and they fucking watch it or something.
We've been talking about that can for like fucking 10 minutes now.
Well,
just
dude,
that, just the brand
what's
itself.
fucking funny? There's actually
Oh god. Oh god.
gosh.
Oh god. It's the first day. It's the first day, everyone. It's okay.
There's a story on the back of it that's like talks about how Liquid Death will go into your body and like. Well, let me see. There's a spot. Let's see here.
What is this company? Do you know anything about who runs it or who owns it or anything? Do you know? Because their marketing is wild.
Once your thirst has been murdered, the soul of your thirst will begin to escape and float towards the ceiling.
Yeah, I can't handle this.
At this point, drink a second sip of Liquid Death to rip its soul back down and force it to begin gluing its own body parts together so that it can crawl back inside you and eventually grow into a fully formed thirst once again.
What is this?
This is the story about how Liquid Death murders your thirst and how it also regenerates so that you drink more Liquid Death. But yeah, it's awesome shit.
But yeah.
Let's talk about the CD we released.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
We've been what? How far are we into this?
Anyways,
I haven't even mentioned
Liquid Death.
yet.
We're over
in.
2K. We actually got over 1,000 likes. Several days.
Yeah, actually,
it was like a couple days after I sent that email. We hit 2K. Like
you guys
nothing.
are at 2,000 already?
Almost
Damn, good for you
2,200.
guys, man.
Hated is actually has more likes at this point than Dead Pass ever did, which is really cool.
You guys have more likes than Records does.
Because we played one show in Dead Plaque.
Dead Plaque.
Dead Plaque. Yeah,
Killing
that's basically what it is.
It's your guys' new toothpaste company, Dead Plaque.
Dead Plaque.
Maybe we should do that and partner with Liquid Death and call it like Dead Plaque and Liquid Death.
Liquid Death Plaque. Anyways, that's
so
amazing.
Hated
like,
wouldn't fit the bill to be able to open for Megadeth, so at least you guys can do that.
I mean, yeah. So I got to do that with Dead Pass, but
That's-
like Dead Pass played a fucking Christ. I can't speak. It's my first day with the new tongue.
It's just for he's nervous. He's got camera nerves. Everybody, it's fine.
Yeah.
He's got media. He needs media training. He'll be okay. We'll get him figured out.
Because stage fright is a thing that I really suffer with.
Yeah.
I'm like me.
All of us.
But
I do.
like we've done significantly less than I did in Dead Pass ever, and we have surpassed that band so much, and it's so cool. Because it just shows me that this is actually a marketable band. Like even though it's only two dudes writing music in apartments and shit and
blanket
doing,
forts.
in blanket
Look at
building blanket forts and sticking mics in them. Like,
dude, look at how
which I guess is how like Infinite Annihilator started.
That's how and that's kind of honestly that's kind of where the industry is going at this point. Like a lot of people are making. I mean, look at my house. Look at my house, dude.
Yeah.
You can record in almost any room in this house, and it's only going to get more able. It's only going to become more able to do whatever we need it to do, and then at some point you can start renting it and start doing the thing. So
my future wife is going to hate me.
Yo, WCDA, I am not planning on starting a small business in here, so don't worry about that. Everything's fine. Don't kick me out of my house because I'm not planning on starting a small business. So don't worry about it. Had to get that out there. What did you say right before that? I'm sorry.
I was going to say my future wife's going to fucking hate me when we move into a house together because I'm going to turn the whole fucking house into a studio.
That's
shout out AJ, who is already doing that, who I record with in Denver now.
That's kind of the thing with me. Like I live by myself, so it's nice because I can just do whatever I want with any room. But
AJ actually has a wife, and like we were tracking this band called Venom and Valor. Shout out. Those rock.
More shout outs.
And I think we were reamping guitars or maybe tracking drums, and his basement doesn't. So the basement is where the studio's at. His basement stairs case doesn't have a door or anything, so it's just like
loud.
And the drums are right in front of the staircase, and the guitar amp too. And so like. She sends him a message at like 8:30 at night or something, and it's just like, I did not miss this. Because AJ's taking a break from recording for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years or something like that. So
he gets back in. It's just loud.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Stupid loud.
Drums are so loud.
We're working with like death metal bands, so the guitar amp has to be cranked. Like
turn it up. Yep. That was one nice thing about.
Why I use amp sims.
That was one nice thing about that's part of the reason why I'm okay with recording guitars for Poetry No Pros, because Jevy's stuff, you can still get the same tonality out of it without it being super fucking loud. Like it's mostly like it's distorted and some of it's kind of a little bit heavier, but at the same time it's like it's not death metal, and it's not dark metal. It's not heavy music. So yeah, you can turn it down and just kind of crank the gain up and turn the master down a little bit, and it does just fine. So. That's what we did today. We did a little bit of that. So.
But yeah, so where were we going with that CD?
Yeah, well, that's where I think that's where we started with this. Let's talk about the CD, and then
probably should have like led with the CD since we've been trying to push that.
Bro,
stuff.
The fireplace. Okay,
Yeah.
We have to lead with the fire.
That's way more important than our CD.
We had to.
That's way more important than.
Jordan
our
said it. He's like, we have to lead off with the fire.
I wanted people to know about the fucking dual fireplace action this guy's got. Ladies,
it was
you're missing out here.
I mean, so realistically, it's like dual fireplace or like coffee table coasters. They're basically that's what our CDs basically are. So
hey, the CD's fucking cool though. I know we signed yours
really cool.
and you can't open it.
Did you bring any?
Yeah, I got a bunch.
Okay, so first of all,
have them here. Can we open one?
Yeah.
I haven't seen them yet.
Can we go? Well, shit. Do you guys have another one?
Go grab yours and we'll just
sign another one.
Sign another one.
It's not as authentic.
Just go do it.
Oh, all right. Now everyone fucking knows. Great. So I get a second signed copy. All right. Hang on. I'll be right back.
This fucking spoiled princess here.
It's just closer.
Hey, so while he's off doing that, we released an EP.
Yes.
Which I don't know which camera to look at. Hi, cameras. I'm gonna look right between them, and hopefully.
It's like tricking people.
So we released an EP a little while ago, and so
this camera. 5 songs.
For now. It's got 5 songs on it, and we're real fucking proud of the work that we did on it. It's honestly it's. I don't like to like pat my own back when it comes to music, but dude, it's really good.
I can vouch for that. I was just telling these guys when they came over, like in all honesty, was probably like the second time I had ever actually heard through it and listened through it as I was setting things up back here. And that was like one of the first things I had to say about it was, it's so big and so heavy. It's like wild. Sounds like music. I think I told them it sounds like music that you would have in like some weird like.
You open it up.
I'm going to. Hang on. I gotta get. Sounds like some music you would have in like a weird, like a horror zombie or a fucked up movie or something like in like a good way. It's just gnarly.
Yeah. So our focus
so
with
heavy.
the EP was as the same as everything else that we've released.
I like that.
So I took that picture too.
Yeah. So and the other cool thing is all of the designs, with the exception of the designs that are on the CD, like those little symbols there.
Yeah.
Those are all the artworks for
these
each
are
song.
So we bought artwork for every song.
Oh, okay. Nice.
But everything else about the artwork is pictures that he took and edited on his phone and then sent me, and we just turned it into fucking album art.
Who'd you guys go through for pressing?
Disc makers.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard of them. They did a killer job.
We
Wow.
shopped around and looked
That's really
a little
good.
bit of other places, but I've used disc makers before for Dead Pass, and like we got great results from them, and it turned out really cool, and I'm just super happy with the results so far. So.
And we put a special Easter egg on the CD that you can only hear on the CD.
Oh, hey, other thing. So we only ordered.
You guys can only hear it on the CD. I got a sneak peek of that shit because it was supposed to be sealed up, but we kind of ruined that now. So.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, anyways.
But so also the first, I think it's the first 100. I think you might have, Jordan might have already sold some of the CDs, but I think the first 100 copies are signed by both me and him.
Yeah. Okay. I saw you guys post something about that on Facebook.
After that, we're not signing any copies. So if somebody wants them,
that's because I can't get Colton to get up here from Colorado to save my ass. So.
Well, it's because it cost me $100 fucking just to make.
We should. Okay, we're gonna let's get into that. You told me out there, but like you've been talking on your Facebook for a while about how you've been struggling to get
a nightmare. Not to mention, I drive a Ford Expedition, so it's like it's $65 to fill my tank, and it's a full tank to get here, and then a full tank to get back. So it's pretty rough. Yeah, I don't know. The whole move to Fort Collins, which I think Jordan made a big post about at one point on the Hated page. So most people know that I live a few hours away now. It's just been an absolute nightmare, put together. And it was really good because I think I needed to make the move, and it opened a lot of opportunities for me, but it's made things really tough.
You were saying that you were really struggling to get your ID in order.
Yeah. Thanks, Wyoming.
Fuck and like I said, we talked about it out there, but yeah, it's.
I honestly don't want to get into it.
Okay, we don't have to. It's fine. It's fine.
It's just basically it comes down to Wyoming took my ID and then was supposed to mail it back, and then they lost it in the mail, and they won't send me a new one, and Colorado will not issue me a new ID without my Wyoming ID, which is it's bullshit. Like I have to go through this whole investigations process to prove that I am who I say I am.
And
like,
you have expired tags on the car, or you had expired tags on the car.
No, I still have them.
Still have them, and
I
you
can
can't
get
get
my tags updated. And I sent him money to get my fucking tags the other day.
They're closed.
And they're fucking closed. And
Yeah,
I can't do it online because they sent me a card in fucking September.
Oh my god.
that has a number on it that I have to put in. I can't get a hold of anybody at the fucking
the
Treasury
the city's
like,
closed down right now.
Fuck you, Wyoming.
Yeah, it's fucked. Long story short, this guy has the worst fucking luck in existence.
That's what I heard
I've
out there.
seen it multiple times.
Yeah,
just,
now everybody that I know is
ever.
like, I say that I'm like, I have really shitty luck, just so you know, and they're like, yeah, whatever, and
No,
then they
you
spend
don't.
a few
No.
like months around me, and they're like, dude, you aren't fucking
You have
kidding.
the worst.
Like,
and the thing is I have something that same thing. Like he's got the worst luck ever. I have something that just technology just kind of sucks around me.
Okay, so
I was gonna bring that up, dude. I've been in situations with Colton too, where like everything is supposed to be perfect. The first time you guys came in, I sound checked everything 3 times before you guys came in. You guys sat down in the room, nothing worked.
dude, tracking
Nothing
the
worked.
It's because I was here.
Nothing
I swear
worked.
to God,
You
dude.
were both here. It was like some combined force of
him.
fuckery.
It's him. So
It's me.
Even Colton's like, it's
me.
him, dude.
It's
no, technology works great for me. Like,
and then I show up and it doesn't work.
so like tracking the
Multiple
ZP was an
times.
That's exactly
absolute
what happened.
fucking nightmare because of that reason, and it's not his fault. It wasn't anything that we could have avoided, but it was like we ended up
We went through 2 computers to record this fucking
Oh,
5-song
yeah.
EP.
Did you end up having to buy a computer? I saw you
Yeah.
posting about that too. That's part of this thing.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay. So what
so
happened?
basically what it came down to is like I was working on my laptop and I was able to record guitars and shit on my laptop and it was working fine. This dude shows up, computer takes a shit. Like just can't record a
Took
fucking
24
thing.
hours for it to say it couldn't open a session.
Yeah, like couldn't even
Whoa.
open a session. That my new computer that I got for fucking $750
Zipped
is
it
in
right
like
open.
30 seconds. Like,
Zipped it right
like
open.
nothing.
Yeah.
yeah, and it was now mind you, it was working perfect hours before he showed up. Like, and then he shows up and I restarted my computer and it wouldn't fucking work. Like,
Yeah, and then it just died forever.
so we spent.
That was the last day of it.
Yeah,
that
we
was
gave
it.
up that
Yep.
night. We played some guitar through the amp. We're like writing parts, and we're like, cool, we're gonna take it this direction and do this and this. And then we get to it the next day, and we tried to work on it. We got some things to open, and we just couldn't even record.
And if
And
we
so
got it
the
open, it
next
just kept
morning,
crashing.
we were like, whatever, dude, whatever we got to do to come up with a fucking computer. I took my ESP to a pawn shop, pawned it, got a new fucking computer.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
dude.
it was
Wow.
a fucking nightmare, dude. Like,
Man, yeah, I saw. Oh shit, I saw you.
and that was the second time that he came down. The first time we got even less done because I didn't want to get rid of a guitar to buy a computer.
I saw you posting that guitar for sale on Facebook. That was that orangish
Yeah,
burst one, right?
yeah,
that one that
my nice ESP.
the one that you opened for Megadeth with.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So you don't have that anymore?
No, it's technically on loan at a pawn shop.
Okay, so you can get it
like, I
back.
can get it back.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, technically it's not mine at this point.
Well, man, when times is tough and you gotta come in, you gotta get money to do something like that's.
Well, and to be honest with you, like I had pulled that guitar out of its case maybe once since, or in like 6 months.
I know I saw it several times, but as far as like
I've
seeing you
rarely
play
played
it, I didn't see you play it
I
much.
don't care for playing it. It's a nice guitar, but it's not my style.
Yeah,
it
okay.
just doesn't feel right to me. Whereas like I have this cheap ass LTD that is fucking rad, dude. I love that guitar to death.
Both my LTDs are cheap and they're
Granted,
amazing. I love them.
I bought it for like $375, but I put almost $1,000 worth of work into it. So
Okay.
like, it's a badass guitar, realistically. But the ESP, like I paid almost a little over $2,000, I think, for it.
Dude, that's
And,
wow.
yeah, that guitar, like it's sick as fuck. It just doesn't feel right.
That guitar was fully active, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, both my guitars are.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Do you prefer active pickups or passive pickups?
Just depends on what I'm working on.
Okay, that's fair. I'm sure a lot of things are like that.
A
It's
lot of these
situational.
guys, like in deathcore bands these days, are getting into like using passive pickups, and then they're like, "Why can't I get this like thick, meaty guitar tone?"
This chunky sound.
Yeah, and I'm like, active pickups.
More magnetism.
Yeah, well, that
activated.
and active pickups, like the preamps in them, they actually push more low mids,
Yeah.
which is what gives you that thick ass guitar sound.
Mhm.
Like, and also to be honest with you, most tech death guitar players can't play guitar for shit. So
Really?
yeah, it's honestly really annoying. Like they want to write these really cool, technical, chunky ass parts, but their pick hand is like they're fucking staring at the strings wrong instead of like actually playing them.
Oh.
Like it's stupid. I don't. It's like actually, if you could just take a pick and hit the fucking strings like you fucking mean it.
Like would you dig into those strings, please?
Like that's one of the things that I pride myself on as a guitarist. Like, I'm not a shredder. I can't really play leads that well.
I've seen you play leads. Shut up. Yeah, I was going to say, we're both like, shut up, dude. Shut the fuck up.
I mean, compared to like some of these dudes out now these days, like I watch these guys play and I'm like, fuck, I will never be that good. But my rhythm hand is fucking rock solid, dude, and I know that. Like, and I will live up to that every day. Like, I play a lot of the rhythms for the Hated recordings, even if he writes them. Like, I'll end up playing them just because, like, my pick hand, like, the way that I chug for some reason sounds good. Like,
yeah.
But I've also got spots that I have to do.
Oh, yeah, there's shit that he plays it, and I'm like, I can't do that.
Just like, remember when we were recording the guitar for the record single, and there was that lead, and I had to play the first half, and then you had to play the second half, because you could do that.
Yeah.
The way I played it live, like the way I played it, there was this one part that was like, well, it could connect a little bit better here if you did it this way. And I tried it a few times, and I was like, I'm not going to be able to get it in time. I'm not going to be able to learn it in time for us to lay it down. And Colton was like, I handed it to Colton. He was like, let me try it, and played it. But Colton couldn't get the first part, so he couldn't lay it down, and I couldn't lay it down. It was like, well, I'll do the first half, and you do the second half, dude. That's just how it's going to work.
So there's a riff in Eternal.
Okay. That's the third song?
Fourth
okay.
song.
Fun fact about that song, we wrote in one day.
Yep.
The day we were supposed to... So originally this was supposed to have 6 full fucking songs on there.
Yep.
And we scrapped 2 of them, wrote an instrumental fucking breather, and then the last day we scrapped another one of the songs, and we're like, fuck it, let's write a new one. And so we wrote a new song that day.
Wow.
So like, and he had to leave by like 7, so we like get up at like,
and
I don't know, it was like 11
9.
or so.
I left at like 9 that night.
Damn.
Yeah, so he left a little bit later than he was supposed to, but we just fucking burned out a song, dude. It was actually really cool.
That's pretty legit.
We wrote the guitars over the course of like, it was like 9 p.m. the night prior, and then just like wrote all of it the next day, and then just knocked out vocals, and it was fucking awesome.
I don't even think we did that. Because we stayed up till like 3 or 4 in the morning trying to work on one of these songs and trying to come up with ideas, and we were burned out.
Couldn't hit it, yeah.
And
we
then
didn't
so
get much
we
done
finally
that night
were like,
before.
whatever, we're fucking, let's go to bed. We'll get up in a few hours, and we got up at like what, 11?
Yeah.
Well, I
Like
think we
10
got up at
o'clock
like
maybe.
9, and then we finally started doing things at 11, and I came up with this riff, and that was where it started, and it just it cascaded from there, and it fell into place. It was crazy.
It was like 13 hours, and it was like,
it's nice when songs do that. It doesn't happen very frequently, but it's really nice when like
it's not my favorite song on the EP by any means, but it's still it's
determined enough to get it done and make it
honestly,
sound right.
It's
like
slowly becoming one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Because I really like the vocals. The angle that we took that song is like different than because most of the time our shit's really like direct about one topic that you can pretty much tell shortly after the song starts.
Yeah.
This one's cryptic, kind of like the lyrics behind it are kind of weird.
I was gonna ask you about that too. I know it's hard. I want to talk to you about stuff, but I'm super interested in the sound because I'm doing the audio engineer thing, and like I know your shit, and I like to talk to you about stuff like that. But like this kind of pertains to both of you because the vocals are, I don't even know how to put it, like. You scream very, very heavily, and most of the time, like from my like experience when I listen to a screamer in an album, it's very, very saturated, and like it's hard to understand what they're saying a lot of the times when they're screaming. With yours, you can tell how, and this could be just a personal thing that I'm sure a lot of it comes from the performance. I've experienced that several times myself, but with yours, there's this clarity to it, but there's also this just wrongness in the rightest way, if you know what I mean. What creates that? I don't understand that.
That's a little bit of both of us, honestly. That's mostly him.
I figured a lot of it's
thank you.
You're welcome. It's fucking beautiful, dude. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
This dude is so like articulate with when he puts words down. Like, okay, so he'll write a line, and usually I don't even have to ask what the line is. He goes in and lays it down, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's sick. Let's change this word, or let's move this word, or it's just fucking sick. Like, which is honestly quite a bit of the time is he puts it down. I'm like, yeah, okay, all right,
that works.
That was dope. Like, but there is quite a bit of times where it's like there's certain little nuances in the line that I want to change, or I want to put a cadence to it instead of it just being like just a line.
Sure.
But seriously, like I get so many questions about his vocals, and they're like, "What'd you do to make him sound like that?" And I'm
it's
like,
so clear and
you don't
so.
Get it. He sounds like that.
The thing for me was like growing up, like hearing screaming and shit in songs. I always thought that was the coolest fucking part of the song.
Right.
Like listening to like All That Remains and like those bands that had a lot of choruses and shit, and then at the very end they'd fucking go really slow, and
just get nasty
and
with
it's
it.
like, oh, that's so cool, and it's like 15 seconds of badassness, and it's like I couldn't understand them during that, and it's like I can understand you singing the whole song, and then right there it's like, what?
I think that was part of the big reason that I got turned off on metal as a kid was because I liked to listen to what the singer was telling me, and when metal would come on, I liked the screaming, but I didn't like that I couldn't hear what they were saying. I want to hear the words of it, and half the Day to Remember growing up, half the stuff I listened to on Day to Remember, I didn't know until like 5 years later when I finally like started like getting into and training my ears for listening to music, and I could understand what he was saying by listening through it. But
and I mean, listening to a screamer, somebody doing screaming is like, there's nuances in it. There's ways that people pronounce A's and E's and O's and
you have to train yourself to listen to it.
You have to know what it sounds like.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And that's with like 80s rock and shit. It's all the same. Like, but I just wanted. That's always been a thing for me. Is I just try to pronounce my words, dude. Like I just want people to be able to understand me.
Sure.
And that was something that I always tried for.
And that's what I was gonna say. I'm sure a lot of it comes from you because going into once you step up to that mic, how it needs to project on the other end.
Now,
that's a big part of it.
That being said, is when I'm producing this stuff, like, so first of all, he's great at enunciating, like, and he's obviously very particular about that, and we retake a lot because it's like this word didn't come out right, or I can't quite understand what this is supposed to be saying, or something like that.
Right.
But I'm also a big fan of very understandable vocals. Like I grew, some of my favorites are like Lamb of God and Machine Head, where you can understand a lot of what they're saying most of the time. And so I push really hard for enunciated takes. And there are times where it's like I don't want to actually understand what's happening because like it fits the part and it makes people question what's happening.
Okay.
But for like it's got to be done tastefully. Like
Sure.
There's a point to recording screams where it's like the chorus. So like when it's the chorus, so you'll notice this gets kind of formulaic with some of the hated stuff. And I don't think most people notice this, but if you pay attention, it's noticeable.
Are you formulating your own band right now?
In a way, yes.
Okay.
But like, so
he said it, not me, dude.
So
just
basically,
saying.
like the choruses, like I push really hard for them to be open and understandable, and that means that the vocals are kind of like a higher mid or like a mid or like something like that. Whereas like a lot of the verses and like the breakdowns and stuff, I don't necessarily need people or care if people understand those immediately. So
because the verses or the choruses are the hooks. That's where you want people to remember.
Just the way that I write music, like fucking every metalhead on the planet's gonna be like, you don't write choruses and that. And fuck off, dude. Like your music still has to be memorable.
Memorable.
Like I want to hear the song, and the first time I hear the chorus, be like, "That's sick." Well, and if it comes back on, I'm gonna love it again.
And
like,
no offense to the genre, this is purely coming from an outsider's perspective. It'd be the same way as somebody who doesn't know punk music listening to a few punk bands and going, they all sound exactly the same. But a lot of metal that nowadays, especially with the use of sampled drums, just people going in and just copy paste, plop 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 in libraries, and then. They use an amp sim on top of that every fucking artist uses. So all the guitars and all the drums and everything sound exactly the same. So you have to, especially
want to sound like the
especially in a genre like that, you have to be able to differentiate yourself to keep the attention because there's so much of it and it's becoming so. What do I want to say? Like generically produced.
No, that's exactly what.
And that's like and
that is honestly my biggest gripe with metal as a whole is and like guys like Will Putney are really trying to help break this mold where like every record that dude does sounds way different. Like,
good.
And it's really cool. So you start getting a bunch of these vibe things happening again, which haven't happened in so long. Thanks, Joey Sturgis, for that.
Yeah, hey, thanks, buddy.
Which is, I'm not like trying to talk shit. Joey Sturgis made some of the best sounding records of his time.
Didn't he help produce Day to Remember?
No, a lot of that was
Adam West or something. Or no, what was his name? Adam something, right?
Yeah, it's Adam something.
Adam something.
I thought you said West.
What's up, Adam something? No, I was like Adam West. No, wait. That's not him.
But no, Joey Sturgis did like Devil Wears Prada and like all of those like really
like
emo
Attack
metalcore bands. Yeah. But their thing was
he did some. Maybe he helped work on A Day to Remember. He might have like.
No, he definitely. I think he definitely was
co-produced it or something
too,
like
but
that.
Like he did like Bless the Fall and Asking Alexandria and those bands. Like
I like his vocal compressors. They're nice.
Yeah,
they're cool. He was like
really nice.
The Will Putney of his time.
The Bomb or whatever that one is.
Yeah, but
really nice.
And it was really cool. But the problem with, in my opinion, with Joey Sturgis's approach to it is he he didn't get creative with how he was doing things. He just made things work. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Like, so like he was working with like
He
amp
did
sims before anybody did amp sims.
He did it.
Working with like always using DIs and sampling the shit out of drums and fucking like
Techno
over compressing
stuff.
vocals and hardcore tuned cleans and shit like that. Like,
and that's what
but he made it sound incredible
during those times,
and then
like
everybody wanted that.
Like early 2000s, I guess early to mid 2000s. That was kind of what people were doing, right? Like you would go into a studio and you would do samples, but it wasn't programmed samples. It was samples of the kit.
Mm-hmm.
Like you would go in and spend 2 hours literally just getting, 4, 5, 6, 7 takes from one drum.
Samples from the session that you did.
And then they would go in. They would have
like,
an engineer, or they would have a like an assistant go in, or whatever the little guys are that do all the editing. They would have an editor go in and put in sample replace every snare hit in there and like volumize them and do all that shit.
Yeah. But
what a fucking job, dude! I think about that sometimes, man. You were, to
be honest with you, that's
you were signed up for that shit, like basically, right?
No, I still am. I still have the position there, and that's honestly they're gonna start sending me mix preps to do at home, which is doing a lot of that.
That's a lot of that shit, a lot of that tedious bullshit. Oh, God,
which is
dude.
fine because I do it on every production I work on anyway.
You kind of have to these days.
Yeah.
That's the thing. There's
well, even if I'm not doing samples, I go through and I make fucking that dude the phase accurate MIDI. That's a thing.
100% sample accuracy.
Jesus.
So this is the thing that this dude actually wanted, and it's fine because like I understand why he wanted it, but I didn't normally.
He wanted something that doesn't exist. Tell me that.
No, so
okay.
it exists, but it's like the most tedious fucking process of my entire life.
Okay.
However,
yeah, that sounded annoying as fuck.
Because so basically, what he wanted was like if you zoom in on a waveform all the way and you see the exact sample that it starts to transient.
Right.
He wanted MIDI for all of the shells on this thrash metal record.
To start
6 songs
there
to be exactly on the fucking spot, and that's.
No.
It was
For
annoying, and I had
metal.
never
for thrash metal.
Yeah.
I don't do that.
all day.
I don't do that for pop punk, dude. Like I wouldn't. No,
well, see,
never.
And for thrash metal is where I would think it would be the most necessitable, like because like pop punk you can get away with a little more human element, like
little early, late kind of.
Yeah. But so he wanted this, and I was like, dude, I've never done that before. So what I did is I built a workflow for it, and
so you could do it faster.
Yeah, because like I'm a fucking workflow Nazi.
Yeah.
Like if I can't do it quickly, I'm not doing it.
Right.
But yeah, so I built this workflow for it. So now everything that I mix, when they come in, I can bust these out in 15 minutes for a fucking full song. Like,
so what is a good workfew for that, for something like, because I'm starting to get into that too. So
I do it in Studio One and I use macros for it.
Okay.
Which is really handy. It's a feature that Studio One has.
Give me an example. Well, I know Cubase 9 Pro has features like that as well. I've just never
Cubase absolutely has
I've
macros,
never
which is
explored them. So like give me an example of what.
Basically what I have it set up to do is so I pull in all of my drum shells into Superior Drummer, which is what I use to trigger the MIDI in the first place because it's really accurate. It does a solid
Fricker
job
does
to
that.
begin
What's up, Glenn Fricker? Fuck you. Yeah, he does that same thing with triggers on his snare drum. He triggers it in a program, but he doesn't use the trigger sound. He just uses it to trigger the.
Yeah. Same idea.
Okay.
Basically, so what I do is I pull it into Superior Drummer, which it analyzes all, and I can use natural shells. I don't even use trigger tracks for this anymore.
Okay.
Unless the natural shells are all like really blended together and there's lots of bleed, but for the most part, if I'm working on it, it doesn't have that anymore.
Sure.
But so I pull them in, and Superior Drummer does a great job of isolating that shell based on tuning and frequency response and velocity and stuff like that. So like,
yeah,
I can get
picks pretty good presets for it.
Like 90% of the way there in about 5 minutes.
Damn.
Like, and it's really it's mostly just because I've gotten used to it.
Yeah.
Then I export the MIDI out of that, import it back into Studio One, and then I set it up so my MIDI is right beneath my shell track. And so what I do is I have a macro set up in Studio One where I open up my MIDI editor and I click on the MIDI note that I want. And when I click on it, I have a macro that locates it, so it moves my whole screen and my cursor to right there, so I can see exactly where it's at in conjunction to the waveform.
I see. I got you.
And so with that, so then I have a macro that, so I click it, and then I have it set to move the MIDI note to that exact spot where I want it, so I click where I want it to go.
Sure.
And then so the macro moves it to where I want it to go, selects the next one, locates it, then actually, because there's like a weird glitch in Studio One, so I had to do it twice. So it selects the next one, locates it.
You were telling me, who was telling me about this? I think last time we got together, you were telling me about this double mouse click thing that you had to keep doing because of a glitch in Studio One.
Yeah, it's really annoying, and a lot of it was just the computer.
That's he's like,
using.
It's annoying as fuck.
But so I set it up to where it moves to the next MIDI note, locates it again, and then moves to the next MIDI note, locates it again,
so it just
and then
goes
moves
all the way
back, and then locates it. So like that way, and also what that does is when it moves forward and then locates it, it brings it to the edge of the screen. Whereas if I move forward and then move back to the one that I want, it brings it to the middle of the screen, so I can actually
see
move
what's
it
going
backwards
on
if I need to.
Yeah,
which is really handy. So and it does this like that.
That's wild.
So what I do is
I wondered how engineers got around working that fast on because like for
dude, watching this guy do shit,
even
it's
for
like
sample replacement on acoustic on acoustic drums, when you have samples from the drum set, even replacing the snares on that is a bitch.
Dude, if you are replacing the snares, so if you're completely replacing, you can get away with a little more like playroom here.
Sure.
Like, because you're replacing it. So
but if you're I'm talking about like blending. I used replacing, but blending, yes.
If you are blending samples in, they have to be stupid
They have to be
accurate.
so good. They have to be so good.
Yeah, so that's one of those things that like
that's why what up Cubase? That's why create MIDI notes from audio is so nice.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I'm
basically
doing
the same thing.
But
yeah.
I'm using Superior Drummer because I really they built a whole system for that.
Okay, I like that
for drums specifically, which is really cool.
I use the kid sister or the kid brother to Superior Drummer. He's Easy Drummer too.
Drummer,
So
yeah.
It's great.
Superior Drummer is great because I can get away with using real completely unprocessed samples.
I like the sounds better in Superior Drummer. It's also obviously a more expensive program, so it makes sense that it's got better sounds.
Well, plus I have I don't know, fucking almost all of the expansions.
All the expansions, yeah. I have 3 of the expansions for Easy Drummer too, and the Made of Metal one actually sounds. They've got some pretty good sounds on that one.
That's the only SD or Superior Drummer expansion I don't have is the
Made of Metal.
The Made of Metal one. Yeah.
It sounds good on Easy Drummer too. They've got some good stuff. They have a Steel Truth kit in there that I use all the time because. It's got a huge kick drum and the snare drum is humongous, and I'm like, yep, that sounds good. I'll use. And it's funny because it says Made of Metal, but I use that shit for punk music because
honestly,
drums and punk music need to be humongous too. So
over, man.
yeah, they really do.
Yeah,
they really
especially these days with like modern pop punk stuff, like it's got to sound huge.
And you guys know the record stuff. At some point in that album, there's going to be a breakdown somewhere. So we go pretty heavy with our shit, every once in a while. So
so that's my workflow, and I go through and I do that for every single hit on every single show. But I can do it so quickly at this point. It's like I have to have a key because this is where another Studio One glitch comes in, like where I have to switch windows before I hit the macro. Otherwise, it just fucks my whole workflow up.
Oh, okay.
So,
you have to have a key to switch windows and switch back.
Yeah. So you can do that with the macro, but it doesn't respond as quickly, and then it moves on to the next thing, so it still fucks things up. So I have to hit the switch window button and then hit my macro.
Oh, okay.
That's my annoying thing. But because like I want to do it with one key press and not have to worry about it. So, but now I have to do it with like
the more I have to move the mouse, the less I can get done.
Yeah, exactly.
In a timely manner.
So like now I find where I want it, I click where I want it, I switch the windows, and I hit the macro. But I mean, how quickly I can do those 3 things is stupid.
That's an amount of 3 clicks versus doing it one by one and having to, there could be like 20 clicks per one replacement or 20, per one blend.
It's pretty much exactly like that.
You've reduced down to like three movements basically. So that's part of the recording world for anyone that wanted a piece of the insider of how that goes. There's a lot of boring, tedious shit when it comes to recording music.
No, to be honest with you,
that's
75%
most
of
that's
recording
most
music
of what it
boring,
is. It, like the radio. Here's another thing that you told me earlier. I'm going to spoil it for everybody because you told me that too, and I love it because I've been telling people this since I got into recording music and shit. What is it? 95, 96, 97, 98% of the bands, 99% of the bands you listen to have fake drums in their music. I'm just going to throw that out there.
They're like completely fake or like augmented, but almost every fucking record that's come out in the last while is at least augmented.
They've been highly manipulated to sound the way that they sound.
No, and technology is coming a long way with like gates and shit like that. It's really cool sounding things that you can do to make drums
sound big
and use real drums. But like
they're just
there's also like there's a time and a place for it. Like okay, so there was a metal record that I really loved by Bleed From Within that came out a while ago. It's the album Era. And I learned I reached out to the producer Nolly, who's fucking badass. And he produced.
I know Nolly. I watch him on YouTube every once in a while.
He's fucking
I watch
incredible.
him do mixes.
But so he produced and mixed that record, and so he said that they booked the drum studio for like 6 days for 13 songs, which is already a fucking feat. Like, and this dude comes in, knocks them out in 4 days. They didn't do any editing, and there's no sample replacement.
Whoa!
Like, and it's like some really serious
Sounds
drumming.
really
too.
good.
Like, yeah, and the drums are absolutely incredible. You hear them, and you're like, "There's no way these are not fake."
Yeah,
and they're not programmed, but the dude is just that good. But that's what it takes. Like, you have to have. That's a 1 in 1 billion kind of drummer.
And the drum set makes a big difference.
Oh yeah, that and Nolly is one of the best drum techs in the world, in my opinion. Like, that dude is crazy.
He does snare work for everyone.
Yeah.
Every band ever that has ever had a name. I'm pretty sure Nolly has set up their kit.
Anybody who's ever used like the GGG drum samples, like you listen to those, dude, and they're fucking immaculate.
Those were the ones that I was looking into because I want to upgrade my drum suite at some point. I'm gonna have to.
I have the Modern and Massive and the Invasion kits.
Do you?
Yes.
How's that Modern and Massive, dude? Because
it's incredible, and for what you do, dude, it's absolutely.
That's
flawless.
where I'm like I've heard.
Like, you pull them up and they're done. You wouldn't even have to mix them.
Yeah,
like,
I've heard. I don't know if my mic's still on. I've heard. Like I've watched videos of people doing mixes and stuff with those, and dude, it sounds humongous.
Mm-hmm.
Way like the snare drum is humongous.
Yeah.
So.
Well, a lot of it's just because like those drums are recorded at Middle Farm, which is like the drum studio that he uses, which is one of the coolest sounding drum rooms that I've ever.
That's
heard.
Nolly's drum studio?
No, so it's not his studio, but he rents it for all of his drum recordings.
Oh, okay.
So like every record that he's worked on in the last, I think, 4 or 5 years has been.
Okay.
So, with the exception of like if he produced drums, it's done there. I think that's probably one of his requirements when he works with a band. Is he's like, you guys got to pay for the rental for this studio because it just sounds way cool. And honestly, it's like a small room, but it's just like the way that it's all put together. It's all wood paneled fucking ceilings and shit. It's neat.
It's been set up for.
Yeah, and it sounds massive.
Yeah,
which is cool.
Those drum samples sound humongous. Like I said, I saw a few videos of it when they were first releasing them. Mm-hmm. The massive. What is it called? Modern and Massive.
Yeah, plus there's like the P4 kits and there's a whole bunch of really cool stuff that he did there.
Yeah, it's humongous. I need to at some point. I'm gonna have to upgrade my drum suite. I'm just gonna have to. I've been using Easy Drummer for a while now, but it just feels like it's getting to the point where the samples are just a little bit too. They're just too kind of generic sounding. Mm-hmm. They're just kind of too generic sounding. I need something that's more expressive. So.
Honestly, that's one of my biggest gripes with the GGG stuff too as well is that they sound really good, but everybody's using them.
Everyone's using it.
Yeah. You know, I don't like to use them that much. I do use them to augment a lot, but for the most part, if I can, I'm blending as many samples and trying to create unique sounds.
Yep.
Like the hated EP, the drums on that, which I get a lot of compliments on, which
they're humongous, dude.
Like everybody's like, "What did you do for these drums? How did you get this sound?" And I tell them that it's Superior Drummer and it's mixed 100% inside of Superior Drummer itself, enclosed, no outside mixing in the DAW whatsoever.
That's amazing, dude.
And they're like, "How the fuck did you do that?" I'm like, "Just start playing.
Just
with cool
dick around with
sounds,
stuff,
man.
till it sounds good.
Like, and stop fighting yourself with these fucking like norms of mixing audio.
Why does it have to be this way? Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how you get to the place that you're going as long as you get there.
That's what I've been reassuring myself of as I've gotten further into this is like, who cares what I'm doing in the box? It doesn't matter if I'm doing things with these plugins that, you know, big time producers would never dream of doing with a plugin like that. Mm-hmm. You would never see some of these producers doing some of the shit that I'm doing, but does it matter? Because the sound that I got doing my fucked up thing that I didn't know what I was doing with this thing
sounds
replicated the same sound that you were doing in 5 seconds because you have experience. Like, does it matter? I got a good sound out of it. Here we are.
If it sounds good, who cares?
That's where I'm at. I'm like,
to be honest with you, there's a bunch of shit on the hated EP too that people like. So like I said, I gave out those stems, and so I had a bunch of people hit me up, and they're like, "Man, there's a bunch of distortion in the vocals, and there's some weird spots,
clipping
in the
and stuff."
and
yeah.
Like, well, it wasn't clipping. Like, I'm really cautious about clipping.
What do I want to call it? Not clipping. It's artifacting.
Yeah, it's
artifacting.
And it's basically what it is my interface was having a really hard time with clocking, and my computer was having a really hard time keeping up with my sessions.
Yeah.
And so like while we're tracking, we would get these like these recording errors, and you could hear them in the recording.
Yeah.
But
I've had those for sure.
The takes just sound so fucking cool that I was like, whatever, dude.
They have to stay.
It's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, And sure, I probably could have gone through and cut them out and fucking did a whole bunch of shit, but we're on a time crunch. You got to do what you got to do. Like, sounds good. It sounds good. Don't fucking fight it. Like,
dude, I drove through so many fucking snowstorms to go to Colorado. So we could record. It's like every time it was like I needed to go down there. There's a motherfucking snowstorm either coming up or going back.
The universe was against us on the CP. It was not working.
Well, you guys decided to record it over winter. I think you guys picked that battle. No offense to you, but
no, you're not wrong. I remember he wrote on a piece of paper, January 10th.
We played
it done by this date.
We're like the release date is February 21st, and we finally finished. We're like January 10th is our done. Like we have to have everything done. That's when we start promoting and we start getting lyric videos done.
Yeah.
We didn't finish recording until February 14th or something like that. It was stupid, dude.
Ridiculous. Yep. That's
we had so many fucking obstacles that we didn't see coming.
Yeah, that was how the last Records album went.
And the problem was that we announced that we were releasing an EP February 21st before I even moved.
Yeah.
And so at that point we're dedicated.
You were like
we can't be like, hey guys, sorry, we're pushing this back a few months. Like
that's unprofessional.
It's way unprofessional. You have a release date, it has to go out.
Get it done.
It has to go out, dude.
And so we
were
like, fuck it, let's get it done. The next time we'll do it differently. We're done recording, and then we talk about a release date.
Yep. That's what.
That's close.
That held up the last Records album too, because I was here by I did a lot of the work by myself, just like.
Which was really good, by the way.
Thank you, appreciate that. Well.
Camera
died on us, so we'll be switching over to the webcam.
Camera.
So now we're over on the other webcam. So hang on, let me move this out of the way really quick. Give me 1 sec.
Okay.
Because now I can just take this.
Fuck you, camera. Get out of here.
You're dead to us now.
Literally.
It's actually dead to us. Cool. So we'll finish it out on this one.
But yeah, so
really quick, I apologize for the audio or the quality swap in the cameras that you guys are witnessing right now. For anyone that just saw this, that anyone that's still with us, because most of you guys are probably gone at this point. But for anyone that is still here, we just had a quality switch because I was recording with a GoPro at first, and the GoPro battery died on us. So we got as much as we could on that, and now we're gonna finish it out on the webcam. I don't remember what I was talking about right before that.
The Records album.
Oh yeah, the Records album.
Before you go any further, obviously anybody who's watching this knows Matt.
Hi.
And
that's me.
So if you know Matt, you probably know Records. But if you haven't listened to the new Records album, dude, it's really good. And you actually did a great job with the production on it.
Well, thank you.
I say actually like that's a surprise. But,
I appreciate that.
But it was really cool, because you're not like a super pro audio engineer. You guys didn't go to a big studio for it, and I listened to it and I was like, wow, this sounds really fucking good. Great job, guys.
I have no idea what I'm doing behind that desk most
bullshit.
of the time. I mean, I have ideas and I watch a lot of YouTube videos. So
I constantly get tagged on Facebook. There are people looking for studios, and that people are like, oh, go to Colton, and I'm like, dude, I don't record in Casper anymore, and I'm honestly, I have no interest in going to Casper to record you guys.
Right.
And it's either you or Mark. Those are the only two people I will recommend.
By the way, how's Mark doing with his recording stuff? I didn't talk to him since I helped you guys out up the hill up there. So
yeah, I honestly haven't talked to him much in a while.
Okay.
I probably should at some point.
Yeah.
It's his Invasion GGG that I use.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Nice.
Shout out, Mark.
Yeah. Yeah. What's up? What's up, Felton?
He's rad as fuck, dude. He does a great job with productions, and he assisted me for a long time too.
Forever,
so,
yeah.
I taught him most of the things that I know.
Right.
And he honestly, we learned a lot working together, both of us.
Yeah.
So I really genuinely trust his ability to get great natural drum sounds. In fact, actually, he sent me some drums a few weeks ago that he recorded in his basement in a room not much bigger than this.
Sure.
And he does have a pretty sweet gear setup altogether, but he sent me that and I was like, wow, these sound really fucking good, dude. Great job.
Nice.
So
yeah, if we get a chance to after this, I'll take this input back in the room and plug it in really quick, and I'll show you what we got out of Josh from the garage. Yeah, we'll take a listen to it.
He's insanely good.
He's so just. Dude, he'll find that click and he'll just sit with it.
Mm-hmm.
He'll just sit right in there, and every once in a while he'll do a fill and he'll come up off it just a little bit, but right at the end of the fill when he hits the crash comes down on one, and it's that's perfect.
Natural feel.
That's so perfect. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for. And a few times today when we were tracking bass, shout out to the Poetry No Pros guys, by the way. They're coming out with an EP. I'm helping them push that out. So yeah, it's those are our boys, man. Hopefully everyone gets back to playing shows here soon, man. I'm really excited to play. But anyways. That was it's just he's just quick, man, and he he can find the beat. He sits in the groove really, really well.
Yeah.
So and we found that out a few times today.
Alex Webster, do you know him?
Yeah, I actually had them on the podcast. That was a couple months. I think it was last year, but
was that Turnover or So-Called?
So-Called.
I was
That was So-Called.
Turnover
Yeah,
that's one of their songs.
Yeah, and then after that podcast, they sent me their tracks that they did with you, dude. Wow, man.
Yeah, that EP came out really good. There's a lot of things that I would honestly do differently, but it was a really weird time with the recording studio. Like,
man, and it's
because I was jumping between multiple studios at this point, and
it's really too bad that those guys didn't stay together and like do their thing, because
they write great music.
Holy crap, dude! Like the songs that they sent me, like they are like progressive, like modern day punk, like alternative punk, like badass sounding tracks. Like I was seriously impressed when I was like,
Pretty
what?
good shit, man.
How did these guys not like? Are you kidding me? These guys would have killed in Casper, and it's just really unfortunate that they weren't able to.
Yeah, and
tough it
I
out.
don't want to like step on their toes or anything like that. A lot of that too, like I had somebody ask me about this a little while ago where they were like, how come you get to work with all these bands that write such great songs? And I was like, I gotta be honest with you, dude. A lot of these bands come in with songs that are not great, and I help rewrite their
That's
songs.
what production is. That's what being a producer is.
That's what it is, and that's part of my whole songwriting process.
Yeah.
I'm so picky about songwriting and
Sure.
transitions, and like making sure that every little aspect is like it feels in place with the song, and there's no part of the song that's boring. And if it's boring, I'm gonna get rid of it,
Right.
or find out how to make it not
Make
boring.
it more exciting. Yeah. More
That's
dynamic,
why
more
I fucking
interesting.
hated
But, like,
music is fun.
It
But
is,
like
dude.
you get these bands like So-Called, which like I said, I'm not trying to like step on their toes. I think there was one song that we basically rewrote. They came in with a couple of parts, and it was I think it was like a minute and a half long or something like that. And I was like, man, these guitar parts are really fucking cool. Let's write an actual song out of this, and
Yeah.
not like a little short banger that you guys just throw down and it's 3 riffs, one right after the other, and you call it quits. Like, which was really cool. It worked out how they did it live, and it sounded really cool. But I was like, man, for recording, man, let's make this a really sick song. But the other songs on that record, like, fuck, dude, they came in with some really killer sounding songs, and like they progressed really nicely. They did some really cool, like you said, progressive style stuff.
Yeah.
And Alex Webster, that dude on drums,
Dude, he is
so good.
Dude, he's a machine. He showed me a few of the videos, and I went to his Facebook page and watched a few of the. I watched that one video of him on Facebook where he's working on that drum part, and it's like that fill.
Yeah,
like
and
just
seriously,
that.
it's 32 bars of him running 16th notes at
Just-
like 160. Dude. Yeah.
And I'm like, just that in itself, 30 seconds of that in itself is enough to show somebody that like this dude knows what's up. Like this guy can drum.
And honestly, like he's one of those types of dudes. So you meet these musicians and they start doing what they do, and the moment that they start doing their thing, you're like, this dude is made
like
to do this.
He's got it.
Like,
yeah.
and
That dude is
Alex-
made for a studio, man.
Well, Alex Webster is one of these dudes that like so he did the Figures of Fiction album. He drummed on that album.
Yep.
And when he came in to do the drums on that album, like, so Chase is also like, that dude's a great drummer.
Insane drummer and insane guitar player and great singer.
He's a great singer.
He's
He honestly,
incredible
he's
musician,
really
dude.
Good.
Yeah.
Like,
Incredible musician.
that dude is incredible.
So good.
But like, so he was originally going to play the drums on that stuff, but we were able to get Alex in, and Alex comes in, and we had done some takes with Chase on the drums, which sounded great. They were absolutely usable. But Alex sits behind the exact same kit in the exact same setup with the exact same sticks and everything.
And just laid it down,
and
huh?
he one takes this fucking song, and we were just like, why does this sound 10 times better? Like,
When
he's
you
one of
do
those
it,
dudes
yeah.
that like, when he hits a drum, it sounds good because of just the way that he does.
He knows how to
things.
do
Like,
it. He's been doing it for a long time.
and it's not even so much that, it's just that it comes to him naturally.
Yeah.
Like, he's not one of those dudes who had to like learn how to play drums. He sat behind a kit, and it was his thing.
Yeah.
And like, I know a bunch of people who play guitar like that. Keith Fulton
Fucking
is that
Keith
dude
Fulton.
on guitar. Dude is so fucking good at guitar. It makes
Yeah.
me hate myself.
I know it, dude. Me
Like,
fucking
and
too.
I don't think I'm a slouch of a guitarist by any means. Like, that dude,
That dude has
so
like an extra
good.
2 fingers that you can't see.
Who is Keith Fulton? Do I know this person?
He was the guitarist for Mayflower, right?
Yeah.
Oh, was he? Okay, so I probably know him. I've probably run across him a few times.
And I met Keith in like
High school.
9th grade. I had guitar with him.
Speaking of Mayflower Crash Site and certain members of the Mayflower Crash Site and certain things that I'm not sure if I want to spoil or not. Do we talk about that here, or is that something we're not gonna talk
We
about right
haven't
now?
talked about it yet. So,
Yeah.
So we're
let's leave
okay.
that out for
That's
the
fine.
moment.
That's cool. It's all good. That was the most roundabout way I could come about that. I just wanted to check.
To the dudes who know who they are, we're getting to you. I promise.
Yeah.
Just be patient.
I just wanted to check before I was like, oh, blah.
There's two people who are included in that conversation, and one of them has been like asking me if we're gonna start making this thing an official thing, and I'm like,
yeah,
not yet.
Yeah,
we're getting there. Just give me a minute.
So we can say that, not yet, but
there are some.
They're getting there,
things
right?
in Hated's future that we're working on.
I can, man, and to be honest, like, and I don't, again, I'm not trying to forward the agenda or anything at this point, but like, you got to see that coming, man. You guys had such a good response at that show, and your music is just so fucking, like, if you guys haven't heard it yet, go listen. Like, it's wild, dude. It's so different, but also so, like, impactful, like, dynamic. It's for being as loud and as slamming as it is. That's one thing that I was impressed with, is like, for being as loud and in your face and like aggressive as it is, it still holds dynamic value, which is impressive, man. When you have volume that loud,
is songwriting. Like, that's one of those things that I'm very picky about.
Getting quiet and then getting super loud.
And I do that with production. I use production as a songwriting tool a lot of the time. So you'll notice the verses typically have, like we talked about this with the vocals earlier, like they're a little bit less understandable with the vocals, but there's also less layers. Like, so it'll be like one or two vocal layers. Sure. Whereas the choruses, sometimes we have 6, 7 layers.
Yeah, exactly. I know that. I know that life.
Stupid amount. And I think we did the same thing with.
We did a lot. We did a lot of layers with our single. Yeah. Which, by the way, dude, why don't you really quick? Why don't you come back here and fucking engineer and produce a song for us at my house with my gear? And we'll call it good. Bring whatever you think you're gonna need, mics and things like that.
Just one mic.
Bring the Super Lux, and then just do the work over here.
Yeah, honestly, I think it would be fun.
Let's do that, man.
I'm down. It would be a fun challenge because I've gotten used to recording in these like $high studios, and I love the challenge
with a lot of input. So let's
you have 8.
Let's put you on 8. Let's put you on 8 and see what happens.
Okay,
let's do it. Let's make that a thing. We'll talk about that afterwards. But anyways, I forgot. my bad. I didn't mean to interrupt.
So we do that with production as well, where it's like the choruses we layer the shit out of with vocals. Like, you just got to be smart about where you put things.
Well, and one thing that I'm learning too is that the more layers that you add, the more you have to do to each layer to not make it fuck up the previous layer. Mm-hmm. Like, there are so many things you have to do to get, especially when you're working with delays and reverbs. Mm-hmm. Man, there are so many things that you have to do to make sure that one delay or one reverb is not getting in the way of another one and just destroying everything. Because in 5 seconds, your entire track can just turn into fucking mud. And
and that's one of those things. Like, so if I'm doing delays and reverbs, so like lead guitars, for instance, with the Hated.
Sorry, Jordan. By the way, I'm sorry. I know you haven't said much lately. But
you're good.
It's me and Colton, man. We gotta gear out. We gotta gear sled on some stuff.
We're nerding out over here. But like lead guitars with delays and reverbs on lead guitars, for instance. I do have a philosophy when it comes to like using reverbs and delays, like using the same reverbs and delays on a whole session. So like,
oh really?
So not using the exact same send,
right,
but using at least the same
like plug-in. Yeah. Okay.
So it's like I have sends for like my guitar reverbs and delays, and then for vocals and for drums, but they're all the same plugins. So that way they're at least cohesive.
It's at least coming from the same unit.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. But
like I do that with. So some people that I watch will do that with like every single track they put their reverb and their delay on, and that's fine. You can do that as long as you're meticulous about making sure they line up correctly.
Okay.
However, the way that I do it is I'll send everything to a bus, and that bus goes to the reverb and delay.
Okay.
That way, everything is getting the exact same one all at once, and then you're not getting like 7 or 8 different reverbs and delays happening at the same time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so you take a bunch of different tracks and send them to the same reverb,
and you get a lot more cohesive sounding ambience out of that.
And that kind of
because it's more like you've got a couple guitars in a room rather than a couple guitars in a couple different rooms. They sound different. Like, does that make sense?
What? Yeah, I'm just trying to. So that would make it kind of like I'm just trying to put it into perspective. So that would kind of make the entire performance sound like it was recorded in the same spot.
Yeah, exactly.
Rather than having, some different rooms for different reverbs on different stuff. Okay. All right.
Now, and I don't know if I've ever consciously thought about it this way.
It's
but
cool.
It's just something that I've always done because I was like, this sounds more real to me.
That's where I'm like when I think about, because I'm still at such an amateur level. When I think about stuff, I like immediately like go down a rabbit hole when I'm like thinking about things, and it makes sense that we're talking about it that way because I mean, in a performance space, if you have everything set up in the same room, the same
to Abandon the Room, they're abandoned.
It has the same reverb throughout the whole room. Yeah. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, actually.
But I mean, so there's also this thing about Hated that I really, really try to preserve, which is a very specific vibe. And it's not necessarily a hated vibe, but it's like when we're working on something, I want the vibe to match what the song is.
Sure.
And so.
You know what they're not trying to preserve in Hated is the fucking lo-fi effect. I just want to say that really quick.
Yeah, we use the shit out of that. I fucking love lo-fi.
It's so good, dude. I use lo-fi a lot now too. It's great. Like, I fucking love it.
I get that all the time where it's like, somebody will send me a mix and they're like, "What do you think of this? How can I make this chorus hit harder?" And I'm like,
change
lo-fi
lo-fi
the part before it, like
lo-fi it, flip the drums, and then just slam it home right there.
Yeah,
like,
that's my go-to. Is like, how do I make this part hit harder? Lo-fi everything before it, like
lo-fi it, flip the drums. Do a cymbal swell and then leave out one beat right before the chorus.
Yeah, no,
and boom, done.
That's honestly like some people are like, how do you get Hated to hit so hard? And that's exactly it. Like
tiny pauses,
tiny
little pauses.
This thing, tiny pauses, breaks of silence.
Yep.
That's that dynamic thing.
Silence, less is more, people. Less is more.
And I mean absolute silence. Like mute the whole
fucking flat. Yeah, exactly. Like mute that bitch. Yeah.
But yeah, so it comes down to exactly that. Like. In Nail the Mix, we were mixing the Seosin song a while ago, and Bo Burchell, who is a fantastic producer, I absolutely love everything that dude works on.
He did Seosin?
Yeah, he's the guitarist for Seosin.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay. Killer. Their stuff is amazing.
He also does like Moose Blood and like he's that kind of like prog rocky type dude. But so we got to do the Silver String by Seosin, and when we were working on that, somebody was like trying to figure out how to get more impact out of the chorus after the bridge. Now, mind you, the bridge in this song has all sorts of like crazy effects and reverbs and delays.
It's very busy.
Lo-fis and swells. Yeah,
super
it's a lot
busy.
happening. It's very chaotic sounding.
So kill all of that.
Well, no, because it's all printed in the tracks, so it's like it's there.
That's what I'm saying. Like, in order to get back into the chorus heavy, when you come back in, just wipe all that out really quick. Like, get rid of all that sound, and then
But yeah, so here the way that I always thought about it is, so you mix your song, and your chorus is the biggest part of the song, and you want that. But then, you've got this other part that when you've mixed for the chorus sounds fucking huge and it sounds really cool, but now the chorus after it
doesn't sound as big.
Lackluster. And the way that you do that, or the way that you remedy that, if you want something to hit harder, look at what's happening before it. Not look at the part itself.
Sure.
What's happening before you get there. Like, you got to build yourself into that. And so that's where I think a lot of people don't use production as a songwriting tool. And I think that's one of my biggest gripes with production as a whole these days is most people are like, production is production, and I'm like, no, production is part of making music and it's part of songwriting.
One of the biggest lessons I learned about songwriting was from shoutouts Brian McTurnan up there at Salad Day Studios over in Baltimore. He told me he was kind of the one that introduced less is more. Mm-hmm. It was like a groundbreaking philosophy, and basically the way he presented it was, I don't remember exactly the context, but I think we were trying to figure out a transition from one part to another. Mm-hmm. He suggested a pause, and I think there was a conversation about it, some for, some against, and he brought it up, and he was like, go listen to a couple of your favorite bands that you like to listen to, that that are in your genre that we're recording. Listen to them, and listen to how many times in their songs they pause, and there's no music, there's complete silence, and it's a lot. When you go to listen to it, you're like, oh my god, these guys stop all the time. And then they come in, and it's all of a sudden it's this big fucking bad, like this big push, and it's like, less is more, man.
There's a reason for that. There's an actual scientific reason for that, and Dave Grohl addresses it in an interview that I saw with him once when he's talking about how he writes riffs.
Okay.
And he talks about the same thing. He kind of structures his songs based on a certain formula that he likes, which is like verse riffs, for instance, like Everlong or fucking. Take the riff from Everlong, and those fucking that intro chords.
Yeah.
And so when he's playing that, and then it goes into the chorus, which is just chords, and they're strumming, and they're fucking huge sounding, but like, yeah, exactly. And so when he's playing that verse riff, he explains it as, I like riffs that have space.
Yep.
And that being said, like, you can still, he's playing notes.
He's playing notes every hit, but
there's space in between the
3 of them are louder than
notes.
2 of them, you know.
And he says it's not about the notes that you're playing, it's about the spaces between them. That's what creates a song.
Yep, I've heard him say that. Yep.
So that's one of my favorite things is like it comes to that same thing with pauses.
Yeah.
Dude,
less is more, man.
It's
I'll say
actually
it forever.
annoying. It's actually really annoying that I notice this as much as I do, but like almost every hated song, the first chorus has some sort of like empty build-up section to it, and it's annoying as a motherfucker, but it works. So
it
well.
works.
Like,
that's the thing. I've said that on a few records tracks, especially we're working on new material now. I could show you some of that too. We'll wrap this up here in a minute, but we're working on new stuff, and that's part of the problem I've had. I was like, I don't want all the stuff that we're writing to sound too similar to each other, but then we listen back to it, and it's like, it all sounds good. It all sounds really good.
Yeah.
But so like, what do we do?
Now that being said, you're in a specific space and a specific vibe and a headset.
Yeah.
And like or a mindset, I guess. Where like you're capturing that.
Uh-huh.
So run with that. The next record, find something different.
Do something
like,
different. Yeah. That's usually what we do.
and
Find inspiration some other way.
I think that's really important for a lot of people is maintaining a vibe throughout an album.
Sure.
You obviously have to have some throughout the course of an album. You have to have some balance. Like there's got to be things in there where it's like, oh, that was cool. I haven't heard that on anything else yet. Like, but at the same time, like it still has to be an album. It has to be cohesive. Everything has to work together.
Yeah, for sure.
Otherwise, you're writing singles. Why release an album?
Mm-hmm. Yep, you're just writing different. You're just writing different songs for different albums.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of my big thing. I think people just need to spend more time focusing on songwriting.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter what part of music you work in.
Songwriting has definitely died over the last few years because
which is annoying as fuck.
I think half of that comes from production because you don't have to try anymore. The fucking box will write the song for you. You just click in chords and you click in a melody and you click in this and that and then you sing some words over the top and hey, my song's done.
Yeah.
I can put it on YouTube. There's a button right here at the top of this program. I can just hit YouTube and it just puts it right up on there.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Reaper does that. I think Reaper's got a feature where you can just export straight
Studio
to.
One has a SoundCloud one. So.
Yeah. So does Cubase has SoundCloud. You can just throw it right up on there.
But yeah, so for anybody who wants to make their music hit harder or have more impact or just sound bigger, like take a couple seconds or kill some instruments or something that's happening right before the part that you want.
Make it more exciting, more dynamic.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's dynamics. That's exactly it. Like
make it more dynamic.
Create space.
Mm-hmm.
That's all there is.
Make things louder and then make things quieter and then make the quieter things louder and the louder things quieter in different spots. There's a lot of that can be done even with the same chord progressions that can be done and it still makes it sound more.
It sounds
better.
Like a complicated process, but it's not.
It's not at all. It's really not.
Like seriously, listen to Rise Against and how often they stop right before the chorus, and then the chorus hits, and you're like, "Wow, that was great."
You know, like every single Rise Against song.
Yeah, that dude's drum fills like
always.
It's always like
yeah, like always. That's every Rise Against song ever written. No offense to them, I think they're a great band, but but they really capitalized on
I wish I could talk about that.
They really capitalized on the let's play a fast punk beat and pause before the chorus.
And it fucking works.
They killed it. I've seen them live like 4 times. They fucking kill it.
But they also get really creative with some of their changes too, where it's like the chorus is a different time signature and tempo than everything else, and it works so well.
And let's be honest, like
those guys are great songwriters.
Listen to musician wise, like listen to their rhythm guitar player play with the drummer.
Yeah.
Dude, like
really
every note is perfect. Like it's so clean, dude.
Believe me, like I've starting my thing at the blasting room, like
that's where they recorded.
I have heard those tracks.
Yeah,
they sound that good.
That's how they recorded them.
Yeah, they're
great
musicians.
So good, dude. They're so fucking good.
Tim is an unreal vocalist. Everybody can talk shit on him if they want to, but that dude is really
he can sing like a motherfucker. Yeah. You can talk shit on him, dude. People have their own beliefs, man. Believe what you want to believe. It doesn't take away the fact that you can sing like a motherfucker.
And like his drums, like he's not the most incredible drummer I've ever heard, but dude, he crushes it, man. Like his takes are his takes. Like I know what the edited tracks look like, and they're not edited. So
a good room and a good performance can yield incredible results.
Yeah, they're really cool. Like it's a great band, and I think they write really good songs. And I know Bill Stevenson is a huge part of that too, because that dude writes incredible songs.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of their more recent stuff, but definitely like Siren Songs of the Counterculture, Appeal to Reason, Revolutions per Minute. Holy shit. That shit was just, that shit was fiery.
Was my shit when I grew up.
Goodness gracious!
I'm pretty sure I know every part. I could still
Siren Songs. I could probably sing that entire album all the way through still.
Yeah,
like
that
it's
album is so good. The fucking
so
State
good.
of the Union when it first comes in. I was like, woo, yes, that's great.
I also like the intro on Revolutions per Minute. This is noise.
Yeah. And it goes into
This is noise.
Yeah, and then he goes into the faster like.
Like, oh, dude, they're so good. They're so fast and amazing. I love Rise Against. And then that's when the mosh pits start, and you start losing shoes and backpacks. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Those guys are awesome. Like,
they're so good.
And honestly, they're really nice people too.
They are. They're great people. I think every once in a while they get my problem is that every once in a while they get a little preachy. But there's a lot of bands that do that. It's just
every band does.
Sometimes it happens, man. Whatever. You just kind of have to brush that shit off and appreciate the fact that they're great fucking musicians and they make awesome music. So yeah.
So anyways, kind of back on some sort of topic since we're actually here to talk about Hated mostly.
I was just gonna ask, switching gears again very abruptly. How much do your CDs cost? What is the deal with this?
$10.
So
yes.
and we understand that for an EP that seems a little bit steep, but we put a lot of work into these and we spent a lot of money making them, and the first 100 CDs are signed.
Okay.
So like they will be signed by us.
Well, and you guys obviously have copies now. So how many of these signed copies do you guys have left?
80.
Can't tell you a certain number.
He just told you. Was that could be false news? That
I'm
could
the
be
one
that could be
that
fake
has 'em.
news.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I can't tell you how many I sold.
Okay.
So
Okay. That's
sorry
fair.
if you have one and it doesn't have a signature on it right now.
Okay.
But the rest of them are getting signed tonight.
There are
okay.
still CDs left to sign, and so
Yes.
but when you guys are getting close to that, I'm sure you'll let everybody know that you're coming down to the wire on that. So
Yeah, well, I can't forge his signature.
If you guys
so
want-
I just had to wait to get him here.
We're actually that's our plan tonight. Is we're gonna go back to his place and
just
them all.
finish signing them. Okay.
yeah.
So if you guys want a signed copy of their CD, get a hold of them on Facebook. They're just Hated. Is it just facebook.com/hated, or is it Hated Band or Hated
Hated WY.
Yeah,
Hated WY. So facebook.com/hated WY, and I'll put their
I don't know
links
if-
in the description.
I don't know if it matters. I think it does matter. But Hated is all caps, and then WY is lowercase.
I don't
It doesn't
think
matter
on
on
Facebook
Facebook.
it's not
No?
case
Okay.
sensitive. It's not case sensitive. So, but it doesn't matter either way. Practice writing it in all caps because that's how they do it. So that's how whenever it comes up in my phone, when I type the word hated in my phone, it always autocorrects to all
Capitals.
caps because
Me
that's how I've
too.
been spelling it in
Me
there. Like,
Yeah.
we went to that place last night and got dinner, and I hated the way that fucking that thing, and it's all I hate it, and I'm like, oh god, it wasn't that bad. Jeez, hold on, like. So, anyways, yes.
So those are going to be going up on the store, on our online store here real soon, which is wearefuckinghated.com. Yep.
That's amazing. I'll drop that one in the comment section as well. All these links will be in the comment section. I'm going to make sure to get these from you guys. I'll write them down on my phone or something so I can add them.
Now, that being said, something that we did promise a few people and we weren't able to follow through on just because like the EP itself, recording the EP and getting everything done to get the CDs and other designs and everything like that really set us back. We were kind of in a really shitty position with all of that.
Okay.
We did promise people like pre-order packages with like limited run hoodies and limited run shirts.
Oh, I think I saw that actually on your Facebook there.
And yeah, so we wanted to do that, and we just haven't been able to get around to finishing it, especially with life getting it away for both of us. So just so everybody knows, Chris Henderson, I love you, bro. I really do. I swear I'm not holding out on you.
Shout out to Get Bent again.
He's gonna see.
Oh, he is in Get Bent, huh?
Yeah. He's gonna see He's gonna see you guys sitting on the couch and be like, next. I'm just gonna. I'm not watching that. Fuck these guys.
I love that dude, man. He's such a good fan.
They're good. They're good guys for sure.
And he's just a great person. Like I absolutely adore that guy.
I had
And
him
he's
on
one of the two people that signed up for our top tier.
I think I had him on the podcast with. Wasn't he in So Called?
Yeah.
Chris Henderson. Yeah, it was. I had him and Alex in the room. That's all. They're on one of my episodes.
Chris, they're both such sweethearts.
They're
dude.
they're great kids. They're great kids.
I love Chris.
It was a
He's
great.
awesome.
Yeah, they're awesome dudes.
Yeah, and Alex is like one of my favorite people to go drink with.
Yeah. So you had promo packs ready for people, right?
So we have the designs worked out. We know what we're doing. We just haven't been able to actually get around and making them and putting them up on the store and stuff. But they are coming, so that's going to be happening at some point. We may not run it as like an EP limited run. So what we were going to do originally was like a shirt and a CD and some stickers for like $25.
Sure.
And then, or like, whatever. And then we're going to do some hoodies, but these are all going to be like, there's, I think 50 of these shirts and then 25 of the hoodies or something
cool.
like that.
Okay.
Like that's it. That's
Limited
all
run.
that's ever getting made.
Okay.
We had it planned out all the way to vinyls, and then the vinyl thing fell through, and the whole
Vinyls are
coronavirus
hard, dude.
thing actually affected vinyl pricing.
Oh yeah, I bet that's
So-
super fucking expensive now. I bet it's
Yeah.
crazy. A lot of things have gone up, dude. Rolling Rock, 18 packs of Rolling Rock are $13 now. What the hell's going on? These were $9.
One cool thing that come out of this though is Chugcore actually contacted us, and they said that they wanted to print CDs for us.
Okay.
So we've been kind of talking back and forth with them a little bit about it, even though we already have these CDs. We're definitely getting cassette tapes made through them.
Whoa, nice. I want a cassette tape.
So we try a lot with Hated to do like limited run, like one of a kind type stuff.
Sure.
Where it's like
Yep.
there's only 20.
It's
or
easy
30
to do.
piece that
It's
were
easy
made.
to do purchases that way, dude. It's really easy to
It
like
is.
to buy one set of something and go, this is the only set we're buying of this. So this is it.
Yeah.
The one
Well,
thing.
And
beyond that,
realistically, I
too,
mean-
like people want to buy that kind
They
of
want to
stuff
buy
because,
the.
like,
I have the only one.
yeah,
they wanna be
exactly.
that
Or
guy.
they're
Like,
like,
there's
I
only
have one
20 of
10.
these.
They got
or-
like I want to be that guy.
But realistically, I mean, when you're in a local band, you order 100 of the same shirt and you sell 25
you
of
sell
them
maybe
anyways.
25.
So if
I
we-
think that's an overestimate, my friend. Maybe sell 10 of them, maybe.
But if we
But
made 25 limited run shit and you market it as, hey, this is limited run, like,
Yeah.
we're not going to make this again,
Yeah.
then that shows that this is something that you won't be able to get later.
for sure.
And
dude.
if something down the road, like, if fucking something happens with Hated and people, we have tens of thousands of followers at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, then
Having
these people
Tomorrow,
who
bro.
bought the
Tomorrow,
shit
you're
early, like,
bro. You're on the socially distant,
Socially
structurally questionable
Yeah.
content.
Questionable.
Yeah, that thing podcast.
words.
Yeah. So
It's my
tomorrow,
podcast, and I don't remember the
When
fucking name.
we're super famous, tomorrow when we wake up and we're super famous, then the people that have all the limited run shit that we made in the past is going to be like, yeah, no one's got this, or 20 other
Yeah,
people have this.
sure.
And, I've got Hated shit.
I
that
saw
no one
your
else has.
I saw your hated face mask, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Those are sexy.
I
That's
like
actually
those
just
a
lot.
a promo photo. That
I
I made.
like that.
It's
photo.
not even a real mask. I just.
It's you just put it on there. I like
Yeah,
that. You should
but
you should make those, dude.
I am.
I don't know if
I
you
am.
can right now. I'm not sure how that
I
works
can't
right
right now.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you're watching this and you're waiting on your mask that you ordered, I can't
yeah, we
get to my
can't-
press right now.
Yeah, you can't
So-
get to the press, and I don't know as far as making surgical masks. I'm not sure how that's going right now at this point either. So I don't know if
Yeah.
these are actual like
These are cloth masks, and these are good enough to keep you from getting other people sick.
right.
That's about it.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. So don't think that wearing
Yeah.
a cloth mask is like the best way to go.
Yeah, and also none of us in here are sick.
We're not actually sick. We're
No,
just
while
this.
we're talking about it, I'm
We
taking
just
it
thought
off
it was-
because it's hurting my ears.
It's
yeah,
my-
I'm actually over it too.
My ears are dying, dude. So we're gonna finish this up here in like 5 minutes, anyways. But we're doing it. Part of the reason why we decided to wear these because we're trying to raise awareness. Everyone needs to stay home. Everyone needs to stay clean. Let's just
Yes, fucking please, man.
So we can
just
get
right now. That's
back outside and do shit we want.
we're okay, and I understand. I get it. There's gonna be controversy. I get it. Well, Colton and Jordan are over at your house. They came over to hang out. There are 3 of us in this room, and we're all fine. No one. I mean, we've
Yeah, like all three of us have
we've been
worked
practicing.
diligently to make sure that we're like staying at home as much as possible. We're not going out. Like I've spent 2.5 weeks quarantined in fucking Rapid
And
City.
this
like,
has been so for anyone who's curious, this has been in talks for 2 weeks now.
Yeah,
That's how
we've
long
been
it's
trying
taken
to do this for a
because of
minute.
what's going on. This is how long it's taken us just to get together in the room. So this has been planned out. It's very methodical. There's nothing. We're not just like getting together on a whim. This isn't just something stupid that we're doing. So we're playing it safe and
Dude, I've been washing my hands so fucking much.
so frequently, dude.
Like, and I already washed my hands because I gotta climb around and gross people's cars.
Yo,
But now
can
it's like fucking 10
I
times
deep
as
cleaned
much,
damn
man.
near my entire house today, man. Like I knew I was gonna have people over, so I was like, I need to clean everything in here and move things around and just
Yeah.
yeah.
I want to rant about people wearing rubber gloves at Walmart. Like, okay,
Do
so
it
so there's
really
this,
quick. So this is gonna be the end of the podcast. So
Yeah.
for anybody that doesn't
So-
want to hear about COVID-19, coronavirus, COVID-19, go ahead and stop
Fuck
it here.
you, YouTube.
Yeah, go ahead and stop it here if you want. But we're gonna talk about it for a little bit and then probably call it a night. So
No, it's just a quick rant. So first of all, anybody who wears fucking rubber gloves to Walmart, what good does
You're not
wearing
doing-
wait. What good does wearing rubber gloves to Walmart do if you throw them on the ground before you fucking leave?
Throw
like-
them in the fucking garbage can or keep them with
Seriously.
did
the
you see
amount of-
this?
Oh, dude.
That's-
So
I'm sure it's
in
everywhere in
Rapid City,
Colorado.
like we would go to Walmart just to get essential shit because we'd be like running out of milk or eggs or something like that. So we would go there, we'd get a couple things, and we'd leave. We only spent a couple minutes there. Like And we come out, and there's like by almost every fucking car, there's a pair of rubber gloves sitting on the fucking ground in the parking lot.
Really?
I'm like, really, guys? Like, how
that does nothing? Because if you have it,
first of all, you touched a bunch of shit.
That's
with
just
your
a
rubber
spore
gloves.
laying on the ground, just doing this.
Yeah, and then you
like,
take them off, and it's on your bare hands, and you get in your car.
And then you get in your car, and you're touching everything anyways. The second you touch one of those gloves,
this shit infuriates me. Like at that, and why are you throwing rubber gloves on the fucking ground?
Right.
Well, there's a lot of people
if you're
too.
scared
like
about it, why would you throw
like
something contaminated?
What we were talking about with the mask. There's a lot of people too that think that wearing the mask is going to protect them from getting sick, and it's like if you're wearing a mask that doesn't protect your entire breathing space, like it has to be sealed around your breathing space.
And they do make those masks.
It's a ventilator. It's not a mask. It's a fucking ventilator. And they're like,
CDC can fuck themselves. I'm not shaving my beard.
I'm gonna shave mine tonight, but that's only because I do it every year. I go from no shave November until my birthday month, which is April, and then I shave my beard. So that's the only reason why. It's not because of the CDC. I don't give a shit about that, but it is getting annoying, and I'm sick of eating my mustache, so I'm gonna shave it tonight. I
hate that feeling.
God, I fucking hate it. I did it the whole time we were sitting here with the mask on. I just had my mustache just in my mouth, like.
I trimmed mine recently.
Getting
because
a
I
little
was
more irritated every single second when that shit was happening. Yeah, and I can't tell you how many bites of soup. Like liquids are the worst. The liquids are the worst. When you take a shot, you got a shot of alcohol. You take a shot, and you just
and it's all in your beard.
I get at this point in my life, in my beard life, I guess not in my beard life, in my mustache life. I think I'm getting 15% alcohol in my mouth and 85% alcohol stuck in my mustache. The whole shot is in my mustache after I put it back down, and I go.
When you're
and then
eating
I'm like
a burger or a sandwich or something, and you take a bite, and then you feel like condiments stuck in the little hangies on the side.
Okay,
like
here's a question:
little mustard.
How is it possible that there is more condiment in your mustache than there ever was on the burger to begin with? How is that possible?
That's
because
science.
That's my thing.
I wipe the sides of my mustache, and it's like the whole napkin has.
I know, right?
And I'm like,
and then you have to do it 2 more times.
Oh, like 2 or 3 times, and by the end of it, you're just sitting there
with a pile
and I'm
of
like,
napkins.
How
and a
did this much condiment that wasn't even in the? Yeah, it's a mystery. Beards are a mystery.
My
man.
favorite is eating like pancakes or something, and you go to take a bite, and you like it's not
syrup.
dripping syrup or anything, and you take a bite, and suddenly there's syrup all down your whole fucking
your whole to the very last the bottom hair on you're like, how did it get even that far? I didn't
exactly.
What? And like you check it too, like you pick it up and turn the fork and make sure that it's not gonna drip, and then you go real quick.
And then it drips, and
your
end up, your whole beard is just.
Gotta take a shower. Gotta take a shower. It's an after breakfast shower at that point. Yeah. How does it?
Like you just pull it out and watch it drip, drip, drip,
and then you go quick.
Drip. Okay, it's not gonna drip. Well, I'm going, and then you do it, and it's like
it's on your shirt in 1 second. You're like, how is? And it's not just one drip. It's like a fucking dribble down your shirt, and you're like, bullshit.
Your belly button's full of milk. Like, what the fuck just happened?
I call bullshit because I can't see it when it happens. It's a government conspiracy. My beard is a government conspiracy.
It's a little fairy with a fucking squirt gun full of milk just waiting for you, floating right here. Then you can't see him. He's just like, come on, motherfucker.
He's just always hovering out there.
Take a bite of that cereal, dude.
He like parks up in here, dude, and then just whenever you're getting ready to eat, he's like, motherfucker, here we go. Let's get this bitch.
Because like you can like take the whole fucking spoonful and you can like.
Oh, dude.
And like slurp it and like you're inhaling milk and it still gets all over your beard. Like,
nothing you can do. Spoons and liquid are the worst thing when it forks.
It's necromancy.
Anything running. Anything running, man.
Necromancy.
Breakfast foods in general. Cereal milk, syrup, eggs, runny eggs. Oh my god. I don't know if you guys are fans, but like
I love runny eggs.
Yeah,
oh my god, dude. Oh my god. You fry a couple eggs and there is no amount of turning the fork and getting the yolk. There is no amount. It just runs every single time.
See, I found a workaround is if you make toast with it and you break it and you just scrape it all up with the toast.
That's usually how it works. If I'm making fried eggs, there's at least hash browns or toast involved. Something that can soak up the egg, you know.
I started doing this thing where I make like square hash browns with my eggs.
There you go.
And then so I have a square hash brown that goes on my toast, and so I have like a fucking.
You got a sandwich.
Dude,
so that's a great idea.
I just sent both of you a picture that you have to look at.
Oh, okay. I have it right now. Should I look at it right now?
Yes.
Okay, I'm looking at it
this
right now.
This was my breakfast.
Whoa, my god!
Morning.
Oh, dude, did I see this on Facebook?
No, that was this morning.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
That was this morning. I didn't post that one.
Whoa! And you got
that's fucking rad.
And you got a bottle of 0.0% ABV death water next to it.
That's right.
Dude, that looks that looks 0.0%, bro. That
0.
looks
0% abbreviated.
Isn't that what it is? Alcohol by volume? Isn't that what ABV?
Yeah,
okay, all right. I wanted to make sure I didn't fuck that up. You had me thinking. I was like, shit. Did I? What is all? You got avocado. You got egg. You got bacon. You got tomato. You got no tomato in there. What's the red?
Tabasco.
Oh, okay. So on the bottom, so it's just a shitload of bacon, avocado, and egg.
Yeah.
That looks fucking delicious. Is that on a? Delicious. Is that on a bagel?
A bagel. With butter.
No condis, just the hot sauce.
Dude, I couldn't even fucking barely finish that. There was nothing else I could eat with that.
All right, I like that. No condiments on the actual sandwich itself, other than the hot sauce.
Just the Tabasco.
I mean, the avocado kind of acts as like a paste a little bit.
Yeah, but it was sliced. It wasn't guacamole.
Right. But it still does. Like when you eat it, it kind of helps make up that like condiment.
It was perfect.
Avocados are so fucking good, dude.
Nobody is listening at this point.
I'm hungry. I'm just hungry. We need to wrap this up.
Yeah, I'm hoping hamburger stand is open by the time I leave here.
Let's wrap up this socially distant, potentially awkward,
questionably content
podcast.
Yeah, I like that. Socially distant, questionably content, awkward podcast. Perfect. Yes, so these are the boys in Hated. Keep an eye out for them because we can't give away too much, but there are definitely plans in the future for these guys. Check them out on Facebook, Bandcamp, YouTube, Spiral,
Bandcamp.
blah, and blah.
I hate Bandcamp.
You really?
I hate Bandcamp.
We have like $9 from Bandcamp. They send me an email every day. You have money on Bandcamp. I'm like, great. I don't care.
Cool.
Tell me when it's $9,000 and then I'll.
I think we've had like one dude continually request that we get a Bandcamp, and I'm like, why?
What does it matter?
On Spotify, it's on YouTube.
I figured out why.
Walk up to a guy in downtown Casper on any given day and ask him, a random guy, and ask him, hey man, have you ever heard of Bandcamp?
He'll be like, what the fuck?
He's gonna be like, have I heard of what?
I'm gonna pay you $100 to fuck off.
Yeah, exactly. So like, no, we have it, but it was only because it came with our DistroKid.
I think
the
reason that people like it, and I've used this in the past, and this is why I think people want it, is you can download music off of it.
You can actually download. So
and if people put their music on there for free download, you can buy it for whatever price you want to pay.
Exactly.
All right, so
you just put $0, download the
contribution based.
Here's the deal. If you want to download free music, whoever's watching this from us, send me a fucking message. I'll just give you the tracks.
See, that's what I was gonna say when I asked you guys about price on it. Not to like undercut you guys or anything like that. But
that being said,
if y'all want an album and you're hurting for cash, everyone's hurting right now. If y'all want an album, I bet you if you guys got a hold of these guys and talked to them real nice, they'd be willing to help you guys out. So I don't want to go any further than that, but I bet you they would be willing to work with you. So.
And I mean, with that too, like our music's on Spotify, it's on Google Play,
it's
on
accessible.
YouTube.
It's accessible everywhere.
You can get it for free pretty much anywhere. But if you absolutely
want to
have
it, if you want to have it for your car, for
well, that's the thing.
Like,
it's having it like on a CD for your car.
If you want the hard copy,
it's having it if you collect physical music.
I collect the hard copies.
Also has the Easter egg on it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there is that.
So
we should sign this one. We should all sign this one with like the podcast date on it, and I'll sign it too, and then we can give this to somebody that watches. Like the first commenter on this can have first person that comments on this video gets a free signed CD from all three of us.
First person that comments all the song titles.
Okay. That's it right there.
There you go.
First person that comments all the song titles from the Hated EP gets a free signed copy from all three of us. That's no incentive at all, but that's
it's already open. But
it's already open. But that's the thing. They saw us open it on the
come off now.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the deal. And we'll wrap it up with that. So these guys are online everywhere. Get a hold of them. Their new music is out now, and keep an eye out. Everybody, please stay safe, stay clean.
Wash your fucking hands and stay home.
Just stay home, man.
Yeah.
And I know it sucks because it's getting nice out, but just try and stay home. And if you absolutely have to go out because you just can't stand it or whatever it is, man, just be aware. Just go places where people aren't.
Yeah, like go.
If you're gonna go
in the forest, or
go
something.
out. Like I go fishing. Not a lot of people go fishing. I think that's okay. So if you have to get out. Think about what you're doing. Just think about it. Just be aware.
This is the only time in your entire life where staying at home and doing nothing will actually make a world difference.
That's
Please
literally
take advantage of that.
it makes all the difference in the world. So until next time, man. Thank you guys so much for coming in,
Thank
dude.
you for having
us on. Absolutely, man.
It's great every time.
Enjoyed it, dude. It's gonna be fun. So
we go on like 3-hour rants.
Yeah, dude. And so we'll definitely have another one on your guys' next release because I know you guys are still gonna be working on shit. So
we're definitely
planning to start new shit already.
All right, dudes. Well. Give us a like and a subscribe if you haven't, and let people know.
Definitely check him out.
Yeah.
And all his stuff.
Yeah. #records.
I'm sure you do.
All right. See you guys.